Hello, everybody. They can hear me. Now they can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. We were talking about
Could see me.
PCs and racers.
Yeah, Paul Reiser. That's who we were talking about.
Paul Reiser.
Oh, mad about you. You ever watch that one, Christian?
Mad About You. Let me check it out because they have different things.
Okay. I know you like sitcoms, so when you burn through, what do you watch right now?
Drew Carey show.
You're watching Drew Carey. When you get done with Drew Carey, I want you to watch Mad About You and tell me if that one's worth watching. I'm gonna
Did you
say
get to
no.
the Cleveland Rocks?
This one didn't make his way here.
Okay.
Did you get to the Cleveland Rocks seasons yet, Christian?
No, I'm about to finish it. I'm a mid-season too. The thing is, I've been playing a lot of games, and that takes away from my sitcom watching. And I'm also rewatching Community with a group of friends over Discord, so that's also taking over my TV watching time. You know how it is. Yeah.
Okay. Okie dokie. All right, that's good. Thank you, Christian, for helping the rundown.
Don't worry about it. Just gotta ask you know, Nintendo.
Yeah.
We're feeling Nintendo Switch 2 Direct soon.
That's gaming right now.
Can you DM me the
I already
rundown?
I posted it on the
Yeah, the chat doesn't work sometimes for me. I don't know why. It says messages go
I'll be
low.
in the
Yeah.
Okay. There's
No
that.
idea why. You know, even on this computer, I don't know why. I've always just been weird in this server.
You want me to DM you somewhere else? I can like tweet it at you.
Oh, I got it now.
Just tweet it at you.
Blue ski.
I'll send you a text, an SMS,
5.
an enriched text.
Yes. Multimedia Service? Is that what MMS stands for?
MMS, yeah. That's what you had to do back in the day to tweet.
To tweet, yeah. That's what I did for a long time.
I will send.
Okay, there's that.
I will spend real money to tweet from my phone.
By then,
I
I definitely had unlimited text messaging, so I would not have tweeted if I was. Well, who am I kidding? I probably would have, but I'm glad I didn't have to.
2009.
Yep.
Twitter was
Working at Wings Over Columbus. Cocaine. I was working at Wings Over Columbus, delivering delivering buffalo wings to the people of Ohio State campus. If you know Wings Over Columbus, let me know. All right, I got to test the music. That is the wrong scene. All right, let me fix that.
Oh yeah, Nintendo. We're feeling so Nintendo.
That's what it is.
It's gonna be very Nintendo.
It is. Yeah.
It's gonna be very Nintendo.
Yeah, it was very popular. There's no reason. I mean, it was the best one. So it really was. They fired me for I didn't check a college kid's credit card and get stolen it. And you're supposed to always check their card, and I never did because I didn't care. And then it turned out that he had stolen it, and so I got fired. And then one day I was like, "Can I have my job back?" And they said no. Now you know what? Fair. I did the thing you said not to do. Okay. Let's see here.
You're like, why am I gonna check these? Like, what? Someone's gonna have a stolen credit card?
I was
Aren't
like,
you surprised?
I was like, no, that does sound right, but I mean, I still don't care. Okay, let's see. There's that.
Oh, beautiful.
You guys hear that?
That's so chef.
No.
Yeah. All right.
No, we don't
Turn
hear
that up. Yes, that is definitely a me move.
That's, yep. We'll talk about. I put it on the rundown. The Cristiano Ronaldo thing.
Yep.
We'll talk about that.
Sure.
Sure. We touch a little bit.
You hear that?
We hear that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, now they can only see me. Let me fix that.
I mean.
All right.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna fix
What?
it. Well, just the scaling's off. Let me fix how.
You don't like how big my head is compared to
I don't
yours?
look. Yeah. I just want to have a similar energy. That's all. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. All right. I'm gonna do it.
Sorry. You just made your head bigger, and I thought you were going to make him smaller.
I thought he was gonna make me smaller too, but look, he can do what he wants to do.
I'll make us smaller if that's what you guys need.
Fine.
If that's what you need to do the show,
I don't know.
you divas.
I mean, we both thought, like, obviously, the issue is my head's pretty big, but no, it's fine. It's good.
I mean,
see it
listen,
like
we're
this.
little
I like
boxes. You know, I want us to
I like it.
people want the details. You
You're
know,
right.
they want to
You're
see
right.
the whites of our eyes before they shoot us.
Correct.
Oh, got me good. Good job. Good job.
Yep, here we are. This is the show, everybody. We're going to start it in 5, 4, 3. The internet, you're busy, let's do this. And by this, let me finish this poll. Heads, should they be bigger, should be smaller? All right, I'm starting that poll right now. Go ahead, chat.
Just in general, I think heads are just too small these days.
Welcome to the Game Best Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything about the world of games so you never have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb, and with me is
Mike Minotti.
In today's episode, Samus goes full Jedi / PsyOp, switch to direct predictions, and we are going to stop talking about balls eventually, one day.
No, sure.
I didn't write that,
Right.
you know. Can't control what the producer does, but I didn't say that. Mike Minotti, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good, Jeff. My Guardians, they won their first game. It was a pretty interesting one. But yeah, it was great. I had a lot of fun watching baseball again. I'm just so happy it's back. I don't know if anything could be more fun than watching some early baseball.
It's not as fun as jacking off in a rainforest cafe.
Oh, damn.
Oh, jeez. Dan, you got to stop just telling us about your proclivities. Him and his proclivities.
Why would you think that's fun? I mean, come on. That's gross.
What a weirdo.
Yeah, baseball backs. That's nice. How are you doing?
The Tigers are losing to the Dodgers, but I expected them to lose this game, and it's only 4-3 in the 7th, so... Oh, no, now they're showing a bunch of like, small Asian children rooting for Shohei Ohtani, and I kind of want them to win. They look so cute. They're having such a good time. You kids enjoy yourselves. All right, I'm going to pause that. There we go. Mike Minotti, I am doing pretty well otherwise. I don't know. You know, I'm just having fun at work these days. It's fun to do cool stuff, and we had a good time with Samoa Joe yesterday. That episode went up today.
Samoa Joe cut a promo on me.
Yes.
About eating grapes, so that must have been good
eating grapes and being a Disney. Well, he cut a promo on all Disney adults, but you were definitely the focus of that ire.
That was definitely the primary target. Who knows? Maybe he was roping in other wrestling Disney adults, of which there are a few notable examples.
Maybe, but you were the one closest to him in that moment. It was a good time. But yeah, like I said, having a good time at work. Then get done with work today. It's like, okay, busy night. Let's do the podcast. I watched Columbo, so we can do Columbos tonight.
Yeah.
So we got 2 podcasts yet to do tonight. But also, like, Switch stuff is happening. We got a Switch 2 Direct is happening next week. So, yeah, I'm just in a good mood.
Yeah, you know, it's been fun. I think we had a great talkover on the Switch 1 Direct today. The voicemail dump truck was a ton of fun. The first episode of Grubb was incredible. Maybe one of the best episodes of Bike Club yet. So yeah, feels like we're doing good stuff, Jeff. I will say it has been very busy, and it is starting to like get to me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I haven't like been able to just turn off in a while here. I feel
definitely yes, especially when it's like if you have anything going on the weekends. It's like, oh boy, okay, I was gonna take some Jeff time, but that doesn't exist. So yeah, for sure, we're gonna have to figure out some balance there. But you got Disney to look forward to. May is not that far away.
I sure do, and I got to get walking. I got to get into that Disney shape pretty desperately. So, got to start doing that for sure. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that big time. Thinking about it constantly. Oh, that'll be nice. It was so nice having that little tease of being in Orlando a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Little Disney before your Disney. Well, little parks before your Disney.
Park before my park.
Yep. I was going to say, oh yeah, that reminded me, because you are abandoning our children by doing this. I will not be doing that. I'm going to be going to PAX East. Kind of had a meeting about that today. We're figuring some stuff out. I don't expect anything like a major outside of PAX East event or anything like that, but we might have an opportunity to say hi to some people. We'll definitely have a couple of panels. I'll be on, I think, just one of them. And then we'll do some other fun stuff. But we'll be in Boston that weekend, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. It's been a minute since I've been to an event. So looking forward to that. It's going to be, because that'll be like after Switch 2 Direct and before Switch 2 is probably, I mean, I guess maybe it could be out in May, but it doesn't feel that way after all these rumors. So we'll be like, everyone will be like, that'll be on their mind. And Nintendo could even be there. That'd be fun to see.
Yeah, I am. So I'm gonna miss it. I like PAX a lot. I like PAX East a lot. I like Boston a lot. So it it's a bit of a bummer. Back when we were talking about this May Disney trip, I was like, well, PAX East is in March, like it is last year. It won't be an issue, and then they changed that. So my bad. But you'll all have a great time without me, I'm sure.
Do they always do it on Easter weekend? I think they do.
Is that what Easter weekend's on in May? Is it?
I thought I thought there was a really late Easter this year.
Is there? I don't know. Look, there's sometimes our March Easters. There's no May Easters, are there?
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a late Easter.
You heathen.
Well, listen, heathen. Hey, that would mean I would know better because they stole their timing from pagans, right? Yeah. First,
it's a late Easter. It's on April 20th.
Okay,
it's not in May.
All right. Okay, so they just wanted to share it with the potheads. I get it. All right.
I'm glad I'm missing it now, so I get to avoid. Oh wait, never mind. That's Easter, not PAX. If PAX was happening on April 20th, I think I wouldn't go just to avoid the obnoxious jokes.
Oh sure, yeah. I don't blame you. That would be pretty in your face about that. But okay, PAX was on Easter weekend once. I went that one time because the person who I was bunking with had to do an Easter service in the hotel room, and I remember that, and I'm like, oh, this is sweet. He like got on a conference call with his family, and I was like, oh, that's a nice thing. So that stuck in my head, and I guess ever since then I've just assumed, which I've never done before. So this is the first for me.
This must well, they did that one time. We used to go to Disney World during Easter a lot, and
how was that?
Went to Matt. It was pretty okay. It
was
wait,
finish
crowded.
That sentence first. I've heard it before, but every time you say it, it's incredible.
Well, we went to Mass at the Contemporary Ballroom. Might have been the same ballroom where Richard Nixon gave his "I'm not a crook" speech, for all I know, because he did it in one of those. And I was an altar boy, or at least AJ was. I can't remember, but yeah, so that was weird. So you do
an altar boy at
communion.
Disney Church.
Well, calling it a church is a bit much because it is just a ballroom.
Disney service, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, there was like a kind of tacky, not a mega church, but it was a really big Catholic church outside of Disney World. It was called Mary Queen of the Universe was the name of it.
Incredible. That sounds like a Disney ride. It
was a very, very big Catholic church. It had a very big gift shop, which that was one of the first times I ever saw that. I was like, I don't think churches should have gift shops.
I think you might be onto something there.
I had a stance there. I was like, now look, I know I'm not the best payer attention to this Bible stuff, but there's that thing where Jesus was mad at the merchants in the church, in the temple, and he flipped over their tables.
Does the gift shop have indulgences? That would be the best. That'd be incredible.
Oh, good old classic indulgence. No, I think it was just like Thomas Kincaid postcards and things like that.
Fair enough. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. Give us a good rating wherever you are listening, and hit that like button on YouTube. It helps people find the show. If you want to ask a question, you can do so by dropping a super chat during the program right here on YouTube. We'll get to all of those before the end. Thank you to Carlos Ayin, who is Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube for the use of our theme songs. Thanks to 1UP vs. CPU for our artwork. You can find more at 1UpVersusCPU.com. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and wherever pods are caught. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to Christian for producing. And you can get more from Mike and me and support us by going to patreon.com/GameMess. That gets you access to our Discord server, participation in Q&A sessions and our Game Club discussions, early access to new episodes of shows like Columbros, and of course, all of our shows ad-free. Friendly reminder, you can also become a supporter by becoming a YouTube member or Twitch subscriber. All right, a lot to get into. Mike, are you ready?
Okay.
All right, let's do this. There was a Nintendo Direct today.
Wow, that's wow. Didn't think that was going to happen when this week started.
Yeah, I know it was.
Which one Direct? On Tuesday, we were like, well, there's rumors. There might be something. I don't know if it's going to be just a full-blown Direct. It was a full-blown Direct.
Yep, I just didn't want to believe. I mean, I definitely didn't want to get anyone else's hopes up. I didn't want to get my own hopes up. So, you know what? And fair, I think a lot of people are not as happy with this Direct as I am. It had a lot of stuff for me. I don't know, the standout. Let's do this, Mike. What were the standouts for you?
Metroid Prime 4 is the big thing. Right, there's so many questions from me and other people, like, is that still mostly being positioned as a Switch 1 game? We can maybe talk about some Switch 2 stuff with that later, but boy, I thought that trailer looked really good. I hate saying for a Switch 1 game. I even looked at it again just to make sure. I'm like, no, that just looks great. I mean, the art style is incredible. This sort of, jungle ruin aesthetic going on in the planet. The frame rate looks very smooth. I don't know if it's like a lock 60, but I'm relatively sensitive to that stuff, and it looks very good to me. I think the graphics in general are pretty sharp for a Switch 1 game, but man, I was pretty happy.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a Metroid Prime game, which is what I want. And, I think by that, I just mean it has really cool environmental art, really good music. Samus looks as cool as ever, just one of the coolest sci-fi designed characters I've ever seen. And then there was a lot of like teases of new gameplay we hadn't seen before. The psychic abilities, her just throwing her hand up like a Jedi, moving things around, throwing things around. It was really cool to see. It's like, okay, how are they going to build on this, initial concept? Where's that going to go? And I have a lot of faith it's going to be very cool. Especially, after playing Metroid Prime 1 remaster, the tech was there, but also like just making that game feel as smooth as it ever has with the dual stick controls. It's like, okay, I'm like just excited to play this game because I really like the way that felt. I always liked the way Metroid Prime felt, even when it was just the one stick game, basically. I was fine with it. You get used to that after 5 minutes. It's totally cool. But it does feel better this way. This is a better way to play it. And now they're building a whole game around that with new gameplay mechanics to take advantage of the fluidity of motion. I'm like, I'm so ready for this thing. Now, me being ready for it does not mean Nintendo will give me a release date. They just said 2025. And I'm just choosing to believe. There's a lot of people that want to be more pessimistic and they don't want to believe it. Like, we're going to get the release date next week. It's like, oh, that's only a week away. Why wouldn't they just do it now? I get that. Nintendo's weird, but Nintendo's weird. So I am choosing to believe that at that Switch 2 Direct next week, they just give us the release date, and that release date probably is the same exact day that the Switch 2 comes out.
Yeah, that seems to make the most sense to me. Look, it could easily be, this game may be later than we thought. There was a game later in the show that said, late 2025, right? Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense that the release date is just the Switch 2 release date, and that's a big reason why they don't want to tell us it right now. Even though it's like, how would we know, right? Like, what difference does that really make? But it's Nintendo. They don't want to say that date out loud until it's in the context of the Switch 2 release. I know there's rumors before that Metroid Prime 4 wouldn't be at the Switch 2 Direct at all. But this is like, I bet they're going to mention it. They're going to, like, why wouldn't you say something about it, right? It's a game that you are eventually going to be able to play on the Switch 2. Yeah,
I think it's, we've heard it both ways at this point, and I think the simple solution here is it's in both. And we get the gameplay stuff here. They like present it as a Switch 1 game here, and then they say, and if you're getting a Switch 2, don't forget, like that, again, like we talked about this being the poster child for a game that for a Switch 1 game you can play on Switch 2. That could just be a reminder. Here is a big Switch 1 game. If you don't care about buying Switch games anymore, who cares? Buy it when you get the Switch 2. And we don't forget you can do that. You should be doing that. And maybe that's all they want to say. And putting the release date in the Switch 2 event is a really good way to accomplish that.
So Jeff, you liked this trailer, right?
I did. I liked it a lot. For me, it's like I could tell that this looks like a fun video game to play, which is what I want from a trailer. Now, I'm getting the sense by the tone and by some of your comments earlier that maybe some other people have less than positive takes on this trailer.
I don't know, and it's hard to say. Like, I don't know. I know Reddit is Reddit, but I was looking there. It's like,
oh, Reddit lost their mind.
Weird. Do people think it's not good? Then I skeeted. It's like, do people really think this? Like, I had enough people get back to me and be like, oh, yeah. And I don't know. I don't want to, single people out, but boy, some of the ticks are wild. This is my favorite one, though. And this is from the Reset era. I saw somebody else post this. Not crazy about it. There's a lack of elegance and stoicism in the enemies that makes the game feel off to me. It's very hard to take it seriously in a post-Dark Souls world.
Oh, Mike, you just should not have read that to me, bud. Dude,
just wanted to ruin
you
your
have
day.
to spare me some of these things.
Oh,
That's right.
let me tell you-
Fart
let me
noise
tell
to
you
you, sir. Jesus
Let me tell you
Christ.
some of the other things that were upsetting me. A lot of people were upset about the narrator. They're like, I don't like this narrator. And I'm like, it's a Nintendo Direct. That's their narrator. He does this.
They're complaining about the direct narrator? Go watch the Japan one then. I watched that one. It's like, oh yeah, this is a good narrator too, because the Japanese Direct had a different person talking because it was in Japanese. And watch that instead, you fucking weirdos.
I had multiple people tell me that like the game, like I just was expecting more. I think a lot of people thought that this was going to be an open world game, and I don't know why. I think they thought that there was going to be some kind of Breath of the Wild moment here, which doesn't really.
This franchise already had its Breath of the Wild moment. Metroid Prime, fucking 25 years ago. It's the first one to do that. These goddamn children. You didn't have to do this to me, Mike. That's honestly, that's insane. You don't know your goddamn history. You filthy children. We were all so worried about Metroid Prime. It's going to be, they're doing 3D. It's a first-person game. It's going to be a Doom-like. What are they doing to Metroid? A first-person adventure? That's marketing bullshit. Nintendo has lost their way. We're screwed. We've lost Metroid. We play it. Best game ever made. What the fuck?
There's a lot of people. Now, look, there is a part in the trailer where the guy's like, she uses her powers to open doors. Haha, it's funny. Like, somehow that's turned into, like, man, the only thing she does with her powers is open doors. And I made fun of this, and somebody was like, they should just show us what else she could do then. And I'm like, literally the next thing she does is use her powers to move an energy beam and kill 3 enemies at once. And then, like, she uses it, like the Force, to, yes, open a door, but use your imagination. I bet she'll move other things.
Right, it is a lack of imagination.
Right. A lot of people are just like, oh, this seems like kind of like slow paced and like tranquil. I'm like, yes, it's Metroid Prime. I don't know. It's like somebody in the job I'm at was like, can someone just explain this to me? Like, how do you even care about this when like Doom 2016 is out there? It's like, it's not a shooter. It's not a shooter. It's just driving me a little crazy.
A lot of this sounds like, puddle news, right? A lot of it is just people getting anxious about a thing that they are looking forward to. And there's a lot of people out there who just don't get it. That's where we're at with Metroidvanias. And I do have to learn to accept that. It is a niche genre for a reason. It shouldn't be. It should be the genre.
Metroid shouldn't be niche.
I know.
And that's why it drives me crazy.
Absolutely.
It's like the best we've got. And I got people and my replies being like, the story looks bad. There's been like 9 seconds of story content. 1. And 2, what are you talking about? It's a Metroid game.
Right. Honestly, we got more story in this trailer than I thought was even going to be in the entire game. Like, come on.
Right. More than you'll retain in the entire game.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm here for the vibes because it's Metroid. Oh.
But anyways, again, it's probably minority opinion stuff, but there's a part of me like, oh my god, if this is really the energy we're gonna be having going into Metroid Prime 4, I'm gonna quit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do this anymore.
Yep.
I can't handle it. So that's my raging gamer moment. I was really happy. It looked way better than I was frankly expecting, especially for a Switch 1. I think there's a lot of people, Jeff, who actually are just kind of angsty about it being a Switch 1 game still.
Oh, that was always going to be a thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's just that. And maybe those people, I think a lot of people also want every trailer to be that Breath of the Wild trailer, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can't live that life.
Because to be fair, I remember before Tears of the Kingdom got its version of that trailer, the one they showed before that was just more of a look at gameplay with a narrator. And I think I said, this trailer's boring. Where's the one that's like Breath of the Wild?
Yep.
Right? So I am guilty of it too, to be completely fair. Oh God, a lot of people were also like, why did they place it in the middle? That's weird. No, it's not. We've seen this game before. Like, not just 7 years ago before. I mean, like, we it's in like the last Direct or whatever.
And also, it's like, God, okay, listen, guys, I like these events as much as anyone else, but when you start getting in the mindset of I'm someone who critiques the construction of a Nintendo Direct, you've gone too far. You've lost the plot. I don't think anyone should be doing that unless you have somehow that same job. If you're someone who puts together a showcase of games, then maybe you can have thoughts on this. If you are someone buying games and watching commercials, I do not want to hear your opinions on how the commercials are formed or where they take place in a series of commercials. That's insane.
But yeah, no. It was everything I was hoping for and more. And yeah, I don't know why I let contrarian opinions get to be. I gotta vent and yell about something sometimes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, people. So there's people that are going to completely agree, and other people are like, "No, I still want to worry. Just let me be worried." You know what?
Yeah,
You're allowed to be worried
about it. That's fine. I don't understand how, because that just looks like the most Metroid Prime thing. To be fair, the Metroid Prime series has always had a Metroid Prime 1 problem, Jeff.
Yes.
Or Metroid Prime 1, like you said, kind of nailed it. So it is kind of like, well, what else can we do here? So sometimes it's like, well, if we do too much and then people don't like some of the changes, and if we don't do enough, well, then it's like, why isn't it just more like Metroid Prime? So it's kind of a difficult position.
All right, Mike, you're a little bit of crackle. I put on a thing to kind of maybe take care of it on my side a little bit. So chat's not complaining about it, but just letting you know.
All right.
Other things that have that for me, like this is, I think Sean posted a good poll because I couldn't think of one, where he's like, how many things in the Nintendo Direct were for you? And I think there are like 5 things. There's at least 4. So that would be Pokemon Legends ZA, Metroid Prime 4, Tomodachi Life, and Rhythm Heaven Groove. Oh no, then Marvel Cosmic Invasion. That's my 5 right there easily. I'm also I'm excited about Patapon, and I wanted to and Hot Shot Golf. So there's a lot of things in here that were registered pretty highly for me. Things that I was happy to see in a Direct. How many other things here were kind of moving you?
I mean, yeah, quite a few really. God, what's the name of that Metroidvania that's clearly inspired by the NES DuckTales games?
Right, it's the Eternal Life of Goldman or something like that. The Eternal Goldman.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the Eternal Life of Goldman. So yeah, like he's just bouncing around. It's an old man bouncing around on a cane. It's clearly DuckTales inspired. So hell yeah, give me that. Even some like weird things, like Gradius Origins or Gradius. I'm excited to play Gradius. I had a bit of a shmup thing there. They're even making a brand new Salamander 3 as part of this. Cool. Yeah, so if you ever played Life Force, which was a spinoff of Gradius, Life Force was originally called Salamander, and there was a Salamander 2, and those are going to be on here. And now we're getting Salamander 3. I'm also really hoping we get like Parodius as a collection, which is just Gradius but goofy. Like one of the bosses is a giant Vegas showgirl kind of thing.
Cool.
So, but yeah, it's a very funny, silly, irreverent game. So I hope we get that. And it's another Konami collection, and I'm glad that they keep doing those. That's nice. There are some surprises like Rado Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army. This game was Devil Summoner was the name of the franchise before. What do you think they did the rebranding? Because you don't have Shin Megami Tensei or Devil Summoner in the title anymore. It's just Rado Remastered.
The reason is because people will call it by the name, Raido. They will say like, oh, the Raido. That's what they say. I don't remember anybody saying that.
I've never heard anybody call this.
Yeah.
I thought these games were called Devil Summoner.
Summoner, yeah, sorry. The Survivor is the other one. Yeah, I don't know. That's the reason. So maybe, I don't know. It's a good name. So I like it.
Yeah, I'm glad they're doing it. There's a sequel to this one too. That's the one where it's versus King Abaddon. So maybe we'll get that as well. Hey, I mean, that you talked about it, but Patapon and Hot Shots Golf, that's really cool, especially Patapon, which is such a handheld gaming franchise to me, right? With PSP, those are fun games. I like to play them again. The thing that's weird to me about it would be less weird if it was just PlayStation Studios is bringing Patapon to the Switch, but instead it's like they scrubbed that branding from it completely. And Bandai Namco seems to be in charge of, if not just the publishing, maybe everything here. So I'm not sure like what exactly is going on. Did Sony just give Bandai Namco this franchise? Are they like being kind of coy? Like, look, we don't want to be associated with this, but we want to make money off of some older IP. Like, we don't think this is not good for our cool guy image anymore. Like, what? Do you have any insights here?
My gut reaction was definitely, they are trying to be coy and try to avoid poking any bears about putting more games out on things that aren't called a PlayStation. But like when I take a breath and think about it, it's almost certainly just this is cheap. You know, they're gonna make money from this, and they're letting Bandai Namco do the work. I bet that in a world where Sony is completely feeling good about everything, you know, I know their earnings were very good. I know they were, but that's not the way Hiroki Todoroki talks, and the way that and it's not how they're feeling. We know why they're not feeling great, because they did just have Concord, and they aren't sure about their live service strategy. These things take up tens, 20, hundreds of millions of dollars. And so they're like, we should just, every choice we make should probably just be profitable. That would be my guess. And this is like a cheap way to just make some money. But I don't know, that maybe I'm simplifying it too much, but I think, you know, we should always probably Occam's razor these things. And that feels like the Occam's razor here.
It's just like, so weird. It's like, you know, I thought not too long ago, the most important thing in the world was IP, and these are IP. I don't know why you still don't want them associated with PlayStation.
You know, I mean, they still, I do think they still own them. I do think they still own them. So, or at least,
it's just,
I mean, they definitely own a Patapon. I guess I don't necessarily know about the lineage of everybody's golf. I kind of was like, that's not Mario Golf, so I didn't pay too much attention. I just knew people liked those games a lot.
I think it's still Sony. I mean, yeah.
I bet it is.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just because I also assumed are they just being sensitive, but come on, like we're at least we're putting games on Switch. I don't think the PlayStation fans are gonna care. We already had Lego Horizon. You had MLB the show, and I know that the MLB was involved with that also.
Is there like, because these games are of the profile where it's not gonna rub too many people the wrong way. Like, do you think people's eyebrows would get raised if it was something like a little bit bigger? I was definitely like thinking about Gravity Rush after this. It's like, well, man, wouldn't it be nice if like Gravity Rush 1 and 2 came to the Switch or Switch 2 to give those games another chance to do well? And it feels like that audience might even glom onto those a little bit more. I know I talked about Astrobot with Reese Elliott on Game Breaking News earlier today. But it's like something between that and what we are getting. It's like, I don't know. Gravity Rush could be cool on the Switch, but I don't know. Maybe that's too much.
No, I can't imagine that's too much, right? And I mean,
God,
there's
I hope not.
Japan Studio games, right? That would be nice to see like that. But you know, I'd be perfectly happy if it was just, you know, a lot of these sort of PSP first games or weird Japan Studio games. Give me a freaking Loco Roco and things like that, right? Or even Tearaway, I don't know. The portable first stuff. That's what Gravity Rush falls under too. I'm not expecting them to
me neither.
Put Last of Us Part 1 on the Switch too.
Right.
Maybe, I mean, honestly, I kind of don't know why not, but I'm not expecting them to do that. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. The branding here is weird. Part of me feels like it's maybe misguided. I'm glad we're getting these games, and it doesn't ultimately matter to me. I'm gonna get to play Patapon, whatever. I would love to talk to PlayStation and understand what happened here, what the reasoning here, what the thought process here. Was this PlayStation's idea? Was this Bandai Namco's idea? And I find it hard to believe that Bandai Namco sitting around is like, we should ask PlayStation if they're doing anything with Patapon if we can just kind of work on that for a bit, right? They had to approach them. PlayStation had to approach Bandai Namco. It's just,
you're right.
It's weird.
That's good thinking. You're right. That there's no way that like another company just comes like, hey, can we have one of your IP? That just doesn't happen. You're right. So, I think this is. I think thinking about it that way, it does mean it's probably Sony thinking, let's just make some more money from some of these things, you know. And how much more money these things are going to make, I don't know, but it'll be some, and it'll probably be worth it, especially if they are saving money by working with a partner. So. But at the same time, it does help keep a low profile. You know, it's not another game that has PlayStation Studios on it when you boot it up, right? So maybe they do care about that. It's hard to tell.
Well, one other tiny weird bit of weirdness here is that there is a Patapon 3 that just is also a PSP game. So it's kind of weird to do a collection of just the first two and not include that third one as well.
What we have where it was like there was a third one announced, or the third. I'm thinking of something else.
Well, that's Salamander.
Right, that's what it was. Thank you. Okay,
so they didn't have the Salamander 3, like a new Salamander.
Right, new Salamander. Yeah, that's one of my favorite trends in gaming, by the way, is retro franchises getting new sequels, like the Blaster Master Zero games and stuff like that. I love
those
that.
Are so good.
Yeah,
I need to play.
I played the first one. Too. I liked it a lot. Yeah, there's at least 3 of them. One of my favorite trends. Okay, you're right. I would like to see Patapon 3 probably does happen eventually, I think. Then
I hope so. That Disney Villains Curse Cafe, I'm gonna have to try that thing out. It's just like a visual novel cozy cafe game, but all your patrons are yassified versions of Disney villains. Oh, sure. Let's give that a go. That's wild. That is some weird, wacky shit, and I love to see it.
Yep. I looked at this. I'm like, this looks pretty fun. I like when they do make the characters like have a ton of like personality. It's not just exactly the personality they had in the films that they're from. It's like, no, they can like almost be like there are actors playing these roles. They're still mostly those characters, but they can also just like, you know, be people at the same time. That's definitely the sense I got from this. So yeah, neat. I'm glad it was doing something for you, and I do want you to report back. Definitely try it and let us know.
And then
yeah, go ahead.
Talked about Marvel Comic Invasion, but I am very excited about this because this is tributegames.emu. These are just the people who did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, which was a fantastic beat 'em up. There is a lineage of Marvel Comics beat 'em ups with, you know, X-Men and even, you know, Captain America. With that one was Data East, I think, whereas X-Men was Konami. And like this thing, what's interesting is that a lot of the sprites and stuff, it looks very much inspired by the Marvel vs. Capcom games.
Yeah,
just the way like Captain America and Spider-Man are moving, especially Storm, the way she's moving around. But yeah, like it just looks like a really good one of those, and I love this genre. I love Shredder's Revenge. I am super excited for Cosmic Invasion.
It's .emu and it's Tribute.
Tributes, yep. That's the theme there.
Those like you know, I know for sure .emu is a team of people who grew up playing games like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And so they're going to have a lot of love. And I bet the pitch just was, let's take the characters from that game and put them in a beat 'em up. Like it's such an easy thing to say out loud. And then you take that to John Drake and you say that, and there's a strong chance he's like, yeah, why don't we do that?
Well, I bet there even was like a, hey, can we do X-Men next? And like maybe Disney was like, we'd like it more if it was just all Marvel. So yeah, you know, put Wolverine and put Storm in there, but then, you know, put Spider-Man and Captain America in there as other characters instead of like Gambit and Nightcrawler. And look, I would have really popped off for the X-Men game, maybe even slightly more, but this still looks really cool. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I mean, I agree about the X-Men take, but also it reminds me a little bit of that like old Captain America, Hawkeye, or Captain America in the Avengers game.
East one I was talking about.
Yeah, yes, yeah, right. That is what that is. It reminds me of that. So
Captain America and the Avengers, yeah.
Captain America and the Avengers, and I always played as Hawkeye.
That was the first time I ever saw Vision in any. I think it's the first and only time I saw Vision in something until Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
I didn't even realize the time. Like, oh shit, it's the guy from that NES game I had.
Data East taught me about this guy.
Data East taught me about Vision. Everybody's favorite.
All right. Any other games worth mentioning? Let's see. Oh well, Rhythm Heaven Groove. It's been 14 years since the Wii one. So I wasn't expecting this really. I was always hoping, but like at a certain point, it's like, I don't think they're going to do the thing where they put out one of those weird games at the end of the generation that's a Rhythm Heaven or a WarioWare or a collection of those games. And yet here we are. They're actually doing that so extremely. This game's not coming out till 2026, which is the same case for Tomodachi Life Living the Dream, which is it looks like a major upgrade for Tomodachi Life in terms of like how the characters can move around and explore the world. But that is also not coming out till 2026, but it looks just delightful. Right. So these are two franchises that I'm a huge fan of. Tomodachi Life is a fun little playground where you could just do create weird scenes with all kinds of, with your friends, with celebrities, and I like doing that. And then Rhythm Heaven is, God, maybe like, it's my favorite rhythm game, maybe except for Elite Beat Agents. And in a lot of ways, it's right up there with Elite Beat Agents. It's so good.
It's very fun. And I've also been hoping we'd get another one of these. It's just nice to see it because, you know, you always assume it will happen, but sometimes it's just been so long that you're not sure. So just seeing it finally show up there. Tomodachi Life was a little rough for me as the almost one less thing. Their last night. But it's just, it didn't mean much to me. I honestly didn't even really try it. So I will try this one, and maybe I was wrong.
It's probably not for you.
It's probably not for me. I bet it's one of those games where I'll have fun watching you play it.
Yeah.
Right. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know how much I will get out of putting me and Dan Riker in a park and watching us fart on each other or whatever that game does. I don't know.
Sure, that's definitely one of the things.
That's probably one of the things. Now, the 2026ness is throwing some people off. It threw me off in the sense that I sort of assumed the point here was to find out about a couple more Switch 1 games to tide us over until Switch 2 comes out. But no, not really. We still don't really have that much coming out until the Switch 2, which, makes me think that thing's not super far away. And that there will be pretty, a few notable Nintendo games on there. But it's not so weird to me that they're going to release Switch 1 games well into after the Switch 2's out. There's still PS4 games that come out. A lot of the time, it's like when Marvel vs. Capcom Collection came out, they didn't make a PS5 version of the game. They just made a PS4 one, and they're like, yeah, this is what you'll play on your PS5. There will be plenty of Switch games like that where, if it's something like Tomodachi Life or especially Rhythm Heaven that doesn't really need a whole lot of power, they're just going to make a Switch 1 game, and that's what they'll sell. And who knows, maybe there'll be some kind of upgrades or whatever. But again, for a Rhythm Heaven, do you really need that? I don't think so.
It already looks as good as a Rhythm Heaven game needs to look, for sure.
Mm-hmm. But there could be like 4 years from now, just like with the PS4, there could be 4 years from now games that are technically still Switch 1 games, even though we will probably all think of them as Switch 2 games and only play them on there.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be like a lot, especially from the indie side, without a doubt, that there will be indie games releasing for Switch 1 4 years from now, almost certainly.
I also saw Legend Zaw, I'm sorry, which was a bit of a surprise to see here, because usually that's
we weren't expecting it.
Just out to the Pokemon Presents, but just a little bit more of a look at that. Nothing crazy. It's late 2025, so.
Yep, they said that last time. No more new information about a release date, but I don't know, saw more of it, and I think it looks like a game I'm going to enjoy. Connell Wood in chat didn't say he was worried about the AI voice in Rhythm Heaven, and that's just... That's not really. It's not AI. First of all, it's the text-to-speech voice that Nintendo's been using in their games for forever. It sounds like almost the exact same text-to-speech model that they've been using in the original Tomodachi Life. And then you heard it again in some of their other games. So I think they're just using that text-to-speech thing and a lot of stuff. I don't know. I find it really charming because I do associate it with Tomodachi Life. Yeah,
part of the goofiness. Yeah, that's just the tone. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not like there wasn't a voice actor who wasn't hired because they did that.
Right. Yeah. Nintendo usually doesn't have voice actors in a lot of their games.
Voice actors. What are you talking about?
Yeah. All right. So it wasn't just games. Which one do you want to do first, Mike?
Oh, was there more? There's two things besides the game?
This one's not relevant to you because it's the virtual game card.
The family sharing thing for people with family.
Yes.
Go ahead, buddy.
Thank you. Virtual game card. It is basically a new family sharing solution. I have it right here. This is going to launch in an update in April. It's going to operate for both Switch and Switch 2. Basically, the way that they're presenting it is like you're going to get a new tab on your interface that is like where you can see all your digital games represented as virtual game cards, which is what they refer, what they call what everyone else says are cartridges. They call them cards. So that's what they're saying here. And you can play them from there. You just click on them and play it. And look, I'm trying not to. I'm just...
It's okay. Yeah. No, I respect your resilience on that one. Look, at least you're not talking about the market crash.
Exactly. This is the one I should have focused on. I should have focused on this.
This is the hill to die on.
This is definitely the one. Yeah.
Take that W and pocket it.
I'm keeping this one.
Yes.
That's right. They, to be fair, they always did it, and or they've always called them cards, and everyone's like, we don't care. Nintendo doesn't know what they're talking about. I'm like, oh, geez, all right, never mind.
You know how I feel.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I'm like that with the Game Boy. Yeah,
you're still on you're the wrong. Yeah,
I'm still the bad person.
Yeah, but you say that there, and it's like, oh yeah. I mean, I kind of agree sometimes.
Look, Jeff, I'll be honest. Ever since they combined Game Boy and Game Boy Color in the same app at NSO, I have felt weakened in that position. It was a big hit to me that day.
Anyway, you get this list of games that like look like a bunch of virtual game cards. These are your digital games that you bought from the eShop. You can, with like someone else, like there's like with a second person, basically I think you could like share all of those is what it sounds like. Basically the way that you could do like hey, my main account is on your system, so you could play all my games, and then I'll just log in remotely on my account on this system, so I can still access my games, but then you could play them on your account on your thing. That's how it works right now. And it works pretty okay if you have two people doing that. Christian refers to it as what? That's you, Christian.
Wait, what?
What do you refer to the idea when you have two systems and you do the account sharing? What's it called?
Oh, yeah, this
You could just say it.
The 69 account.
Yes, account 69ing.
Oh.
Yes.
They're simultaneously returning the favor.
Exactly. It's all. It's an Ouroboros.
I did not invent this term. It's just it's Argentinian stuff. You know, Argentinians, they're crazy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so it's going to be similar to that. But then also, if you have a family plan, a Nintendo Switch Online family plan, and you have a bunch of accounts there, you can, as long as you are both in the same place on the same local internet, I think, you can take one of those games, share it with one of those other Switches, and they get to play the game for 14 days. At which point it will be automatically returned to your account. In those 14 days, you can't play that game. The other person has your game, but you'll get it back after 14 days. And at which point, I'm sure you can then lend it to them again. So, if your, kid is going to summer camp for a week or something like that, and they want to take their Switch, you can lend the game to them. And even if they're gone in that time, they could still play the game without having to check in. But they're going to need to check in again after 2 weeks to get the game back. So I like this for the most part. I want to try it, of course, because I bet there's some Nintendo weirdness on it that we're not expecting that will cause me some headaches. I really like the way Steam family sharing works. That has been fantastic. That's been almost zero problems. But beyond that, this is pretty cool to see, and I plan to take advantage of it. I have been worried about this personally, Mike, because we have the 2 Switches that we use a lot. And I'm like, well, we're going to get a Switch 2, and then there's going to be 3. And then one of these is going to go to Addie. One of this is going to go to Emmy. How are we going to solve this problem of sharing digital games? I'm like, I should probably just start buying physical games is what I thought. And now I don't have to. So this is a relief.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, if it works out for you. It sounds like a good enough system.
Yep. Yeah, it's good enough. It's better than what we have right now, as long as this doesn't ruin anything about the way it's working for me right now between 2 systems. But we'll see. All right, let's see here. The other thing is the one last thing, Mikey. Miyamoto came out. He had a big announcement, and I really did not know what to expect. And that's because this was crazy. They have a Nintendo Today news app. I guess news, and it's like a fun interactive calendar. Every day they'll update it with either a comic, some news about a game, something else. I don't know.
Did you
riddle.
See the silhouette guessing game? Who's this character? And it's just the most Mario-esque silhouette ever.
Oh my god.
Oh.
It's the most Nintendo solution to the question of what do you do when a billionaire Nazi takes over the social media platform you most frequently use to reach your audience. And Nintendo's like, well, we'll make our own app. It's like, oh, honey, okay, I get it. I get the impetus here, but come on, this is not it.
Yeah, we talked about this on Tuesday, but Nintendo, if they can be control and they can do it themselves, they want to. This is the company who, instead of just releasing soundtracks on Spotify, made their own music app.
Yep.
And of course, it's weird and it's kind of cumbersome the way to use this other thing. This one is especially interesting because it is basically just a Twitter where they're the only poster. They have this calendar stuff that's sort of it's kind of cute. It's kind of irrelevant. It's another way for them to circumvent journalists or other outlets so they could just reach consumers directly.
All these companies are doing. Absolutely, yes.
They're all doing that and they love it.
Yep.
It's fantastic. That's why we're all reacting now instead of sharing news. They don't let us. They don't give us the news. Now we have to react to it instead and analyze it. So yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit weird, and I get wanting to be off Twitter, but just get on Blue Sky, get on the other platforms. You're Nintendo. That stuff is going to get out there. I mean, get off Twitter for sure, because that'll be great. And it will help, honestly, that is a big account that will help delegitimize Twitter at least a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But gosh, I wonder, is this app really going to be a going concern this time next year, right?
Right. Do we think about it again? Now, I said that about Nintendo Music, and they keep updating it. I keep checking in on it, but I'm not using it every day or anything like that.
Well, for a bit, because they say, hey, there's going to be Switch 2 news, and that sounds like back when Smash Bros. Brawl was coming out, and you had to go on that website every day, because sometimes they would announce a new item or give a snippet of a track, but sometimes it would just be like, well, here's a new roster character, surprise, Pokemon trainer is in this game, so you always had to go. So I wonder if some days it's well, I got to go in the app because today it's a bad quiz about Mario's silhouette. And the next day they're announcing F-Zero GX for the Switch too.
Sure.
Right. So I wonder what exactly all these details mean per se.
Right. How do they like tease thing. So like, yeah, it's like the one day. You're right. Is it something that gives you a reason to come back the next day, and that's how this works? Because if it's, 'cause my imagination here is they do announce F-Zero GX, and then we all just post that to Twitter and to Blue Sky, and that's where everyone still finds out about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, we need one person on this app, Wario64.
Exactly.
The rest of us, he's gonna Paul Revere it.
Yeah.
We'll be
Yes.
fine.
Yes.
Evil is coming back to the Pokemon app.
Yeah,
to the Nintendo
Captain
app. Let's
Falcon
go.
is coming. Captain Falcon is coming. That's right. Yeah. I think that I will probably check it out once or twice. Now, all that said, if they had made this like a digital wall calendar, an interactive wall calendar, the calendar version of Alarmo, and they charged me $100 for it, I'd probably be very excited.
I was thinking about that too, because like, yeah, I dug on the apps when they made $100 clock. I love that thing. I go to bat for that thing. Part of me is like, hey, can you put this on my clock?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, for
Why
real. I already
not?
bought your Alarmo. That thing has time telling functionality. Just put the calendar on there.
Why can't that thing tell me when there's a Nintendo Direct today? Like,
Yeah,
that sounds neat.
That sounds awesome. Like, and obviously make it opt in or whatever. But I'm guessing the Nintendo Alarmo audience would all opt into that. Like, yes, I want you to tell me when you have a Nintendo Direct. I bought an Alarmo. But all right, whatever. It's just a very weird. I mean, the weirdest part
Push
is
it close on it and bring Shiggy out. Like, cause when he comes out, it's like, well, it's time to talk about the Mario movie or the theme park or like the museum, and how there's this dumb app instead. So,
yeah, and it's really just because I got excited and this was a letdown. So, whatever.
Like, it's like, oh, are we gonna get like details about the Zelda area of the Universal theme park? Which, by the way, like, there's a lot of things in that app. The opening date for Epic Universe is not, unless I just missed it somehow. So that's strange.
Yep. All right. Let's see other things here.
Let's get through these two pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Are we doing the other things still,
I think I
Christian?
got rid of them. Good job, Christian.
Yep. Good call.
I was thinking we should.
I was thinking
and I was afraid
too.
to say it, and you took action. You showed initiative. Hell yeah.
Good move, buddy. Wait, just real quick. My kid came home from school and said that her favorite football player is Ronaldo. Christian, what do I tell her? How do I get her to stop saying that?
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, I know. Help me out here.
Well,
She's never watched soccer in her life. Let's be clear. Someone at school said this.
You should. Oh, she's never. You should show her like maybe make her watch like women's soccer because
That's a good idea.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good. And
Yeah,
they're,
Team
like,
USA
they're really-
women. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll make
And
that
those
move.
women are people to look up to. Actually.
Yes, they all are fantastic. Yes.
You
Yes.
see Dan's in chat calling me a grape swallower.
Yeah, this dude swallows grapes is a very powerful phrase.
Come on. We're just trying to have fun here.
It's not as fun as jacking off in a rainforest cafe.
Oh,
Dan!
Dan!
Listen, I know you're allowed to just hop in here whenever you want, but you can't just do that. God, man.
Dan, that's upsetting. Come on.
This guy. All right, that does it for all of that. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to the super chats right after this. My
All right,
goodness.
brickaroo.
All right, fantastic.
All right.
So, what do you want to do, Mike?
I want to.
Circle.
Well, this is pretty low. That's all right. Let's just do the super chats. Then I'll get a drink.
Cool.
Put the doggy out.
I'm ready
Has
to get back
super
into
chats?
it.
Yeah. I have.
By the way, for the topic, we have input from the community. If you want to set that up, in the next.
Yeah, I'll do it in the next
Just
break.
so you know.
Yep, sounds good.
All right.
I don't. It sounds like the crackle has gone away a little bit.
Yeah, speak a little bit more, Mike.
Mike Minot speaking uninterrupted. I lowered my gain even a little bit more. I don't know if you're hearing crackle. It hopefully won't be an issue when I put in the new riser tomorrow anyways. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely
it sounds-
much lessened. It's like there a little bit, like maybe 1% now. But
Put another
Christian,
knob down?
I am. I have a filter on that should get most of it. So I'll give you my recording tonight.
Perfect.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Cool. I am ready to bring it back. All right, we are back. Let's get into the super chats. Mike Minotti, please.
Yes, Bunch here. Thank you so much, everybody. Tuber says Patapon Day Replay starring Rihanna and Mike Minotti coming to the Power Block this July. Pepis.
Yeah, shouts to Pepis.
Tuber says blood work came back positive, so I ate a bag of pizza rolls and now I'm rum drunk. So here's my question. If you dropped an AirPod in a bowl of grapes and Mike swallowed it whole, what song would you play?
God, that's a good question. I would probably play. I would play Shimmy Ya by ODB right now. That would be incredible to hear rumbling out of his stomach right now. Yeah, and especially in this moment, I would enjoy that quite a bit.
I'm a little teapot, short and
Oh,
stout.
that's good.
Here is my handle. Here is my spout.
I know, Dan. I want to talk about it too.
Woke Gabagool Boy says, can we ever get a Mount Rushmore of Colorado night games? Spoiler, I'm having one right now, lol. In my opinion, Journey is forever the George Washington penis.
That's not a bad
Is
one.
Journey more or Flower more, you think?
Ooh, good question.
Would you rather play high?
I personally would probably, like, if you're asking me right now, Flower, because I don't have the social interaction thing to like be concerned about. But I bet, like, once I like shifted into that gear and I was relying on somebody else, and it was like, and they were like fulfilling that social need, I would probably feel so connected to them in that moment that they would actually, that is the real answer. Journey's a good one.
AJB Time says, I can't tell you how many times I've rewatched Jeff get crushed by the giant gummy Venus de Milo. My favorite part is Mike's expression lining up perfectly with Raz's death cry. Long live Peepo. Yeah,
it was a hell of a moment. I did go back and watch the that first episode, or most of that first episode of the Game Informer Super Replay to see it, and it is so similar. It's so amazing how it's basically the exact same thing. Yeah, I'm sure it was. Yeah, it really seemed like it. But it's like, even like going back to the main menu and trying to see if the save file was there, and there was nothing there. And yeah, that was quite incredible. Also, that's a good show. I don't get why people like Super Replay so much.
Willow Davis says, can Metroid Prime 4 really make an impact in a post-Golem world?
I don't know.
And Jeff, where's my Prime 2 and 3 remasters? Boy, yeah, we didn't talk about that.
Yeah,
I was hoping to see him here. I guess there's still hope we hear about them on Tuesday, but Wednesday, that doesn't really seem like the place, honestly. So I don't know.
Like I said, and when we were talking about like leading into that, I am now of the opinion that at least Metroid Prime 2 gets put into just the GameCube NSO stuff that shows up on Switch 2. If that happens, I know, but I mean,
You really think there's gonna be a GameCube NSO? Because I cannot.
Yes, here's why. Here's why I think it. Because you're right, they love selling us GameCube games, but they like doing that for a certain tier of GameCube game, and they might still do that with remasters and remakes going forward. But there are like a lot of middle tier, in Nintendo's opinion, GameCube games that won't be worth even remastering, that will help with a Nintendo Switch Online price increase.
Yeah, I guess. But again, it's just, I mean, Metroid Prime 2 is just weird because you can't do it with that. That's a Wii game.
Or Metroid Prime 3,
if we're going to have to remaster that one and one, like, why don't we just do two?
I agree, but it, like, you know, I don't know. It is
hoping
strange.
That it's still just something that happens in a tweet, that happens via the Nintendo. The fuck is the stupid
Nintendo Today?
Nintendo Today. We're gonna wake up one day. It's gonna be like, today's the day for Metroid Prime 2. Here it is.
Is it a calendar because they're just gonna do one thing a day? Is that what they mean by that? That's so strange.
What do you mean by that? That's how. If I don't hear, once we get a release date for Metroid Prime 4 and we're like a month out from it, then I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm just gonna play these games on my Wii U then, because I want to play them.
Play them on your Steam or on your Ally. Just get the Prime Hacks emulator. Okay, fair enough. F-Zero GX, we had those rumors as well. Listen, I do think that's when they should just they should sell it to us. I agree. I would pay $50, $60 even for that. But I don't know. We heard about it. It went away. Nothing ever happened. And I think that part of them is like, you know what? We are going to get more value out of some of these with NSO.
Sure, I could see that's an NSO thing. But again, okay, so Metroid Prime 2 NSO. Do we not get the dual stick controls now?
Yeah, I know. I know. You're right. I know. But we always heard there wasn't as much of a remaster. Maybe.
Although, did the GoldenEye and NSO, did that get some version of dual stick controls anyways? Now I can't remember.
It had something, and the Xbox version had something else, and or was it the Xbox version, right? And I can't remember which was which.
Yeah, maybe chat will help us out with that one. But
Yeah, Star Fox Assault. Yeah, that's a good one. They're not going to remaster, or even Star Fox Adventures. They're not going to remaster that.
No, I agree. There's like a bunch, but like they also are still going to have to put in like the base versions of the heavy hitters. And like, boy, I would love if they just put Melee on there. But boy, it's also like they're just gonna give us Melee for free. I hope so. That'd be great. Are they gonna put base Wind Waker there? I mean, they should just put Mario Sunshine there at this point.
Yeah.
Whatever. I know it was in the 3D collection. Xbox had dual stick, I think. So maybe NSO had online play.
That's right. That's how it broke down. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so N64 did not have dual stick.
Oh, NSO had online play because all NSO games have online play.
Right, exactly.
Right.
They all technically do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, I don't know. Maybe I'm just in denial because I don't want that, Jeff. I mean, I want GameCube NSO, but I don't want that to be the only way we're getting Metroid Prime 2. I
know.
We'll see. I haven't given up yet. It's weird.
I'm happy to be right there with you. I want to support you on this, so I hope so.
It's weird because it was definitely one thing that I thought had a pretty good chance of happening today.
And like just like as a reminder, like when I heard about Metroid Prime 1 remaster, the big boy remaster, it was Metroid Prime 2 and 3 will come as well, but they will just be lesser. And maybe Nintendo decided it was too lesser or something. Maybe it was too lesser, and it's not actually going to be as good as the dual stick controls and all that stuff. Maybe they didn't do that work for those games. I think that would be weird because it probably was very similar. But I don't know. Maybe and Retro definitely did Metroid Prime 1 remaster, so they're like, oh, they can't do this work because they have to get back to work on 4. So yeah, I don't know.
All right, Willow Davis, a super chatter, now is apologizing for derailing us. No, we're good. We got this. We're
back on track. That's the show. That's why you do this. It's good.
Most of our lives is spent worrying about Metroid Prime 2 and 3 remasters.
Yeah, you're just getting at something deep inside of us.
Yeah, listeners, I don't know if you've noticed how much angst there suddenly was and anxiety once anything Metroid Prime related got brought up today.
You guys just gotta leave Metroid alone, and Nintendo's gotta give us more Metroid, please. Wait,
we care deeply.
I'm definitely part of this is copium, the Nintendo Switch Online GameCube stuff. It definitely is me coping with the thought of like, hey, they're not going to do a lot of these GameCube games, so how are we going to get them, and how can they improve that? But let's say they do it. The main storage on Switch 2 has got to be much bigger, right? It's got to be. They have to have at least.
I mean, why not? I mean, we were talking yesterday. I was like, haha, look at this funny SD card, micro SD card that has a Sonic silhouette on it. Oh my God, it's 1 terabyte in size. So it's like, well, yeah, there better be a lot of storage on there.
And I think they're not going to use an SSD, but they'll use the fastest form of flash memory right now, or like one of the faster forms of flash memory, which is pretty good. That's like you could put that stuff in a Steam Deck these days, and it runs it loads things pretty fast. So you could probably get 128 gigabytes in that thing without sparing a lot of cost, and that sounds like the level Nintendo would go with.
Now listen up, Jeff Grubb. My good friend Dan Reichert has just said in our chat that he's going to start streaming Metroid Prime 1 Remastered.
That sounds
tomorrow.
Like kind of fun that he likes. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It's not as fun as jacking off in a rainforest cafe.
Well, okay, it's pretty fun though, man.
You don't have to compare everything to that, Dan. Jesus.
Yeah, but I'm going to give him the rub and say people should check out Dan Reichert's stream of.
I'm going to watch that. I'll watch anybody play Metroid Prime 1 Remaster.
Do you okay? One more question. I mean, do you think we hear about like new NSO stuff on Wednesday at the Switch 2 Direct? Like, we're gonna hear about that then, or is this one of the calendar drops now?
I'm gonna say yeah, but like, I don't know. You're right. At this point, with this Nintendo Today thing and how directs go sometimes, where it's like that makes a ton of sense, but maybe like an NSO is something that's kind of like its legacy at this point. And yeah, they're going to improve it, make it different for Switch 2, but maybe they feel they need to separate it out and talk about how the value of that will be different at a different spot. Because right now it's about selling Switch 2. Selling Nintendo Switch Online will come at a different point, although I got to imagine really it makes more sense to combine those things together. So I'll say yes.
All right, we got to get moving along here. Simon from Saskatchewan says, because of looking up bad video games, my YouTube algorithm suggests bad game vids a lot. Have you heard of Boogie for the Wii? It's not in the Blight Club spirit, though. Boogie for the Wii.
I've not heard that.
I've not heard of Boogie for the Wii. Let's see if it's like.
I know
this fucker.
I'm gonna click the co-pilot button on it. Let's see here.
You'll recognize this guy.
Okay, hang on. Let me see here.
It's EA. I think it's just a bad rhythm music karaoke.
Oh, this guy!
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know this guy. I've seen this guy.
Yeah, crackhead Patrick Starr. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Antonio Martinez says, "Hey, Grubb.
Hi.
Scooble sucks. Go Dodgers."
Okay, look, lay off. You guys have the most villainous team in maybe the history of baseball, and that's saying something. So the fact you guys barely beat us, come on, whatever. First game of the season, don't react.
Heroic, heartwarming, underdog, just real go-getters. Everyone can feel good cheering about the team in history.
Go
of baseball.
blue, baby. Go big blue. Go blue.
No!
I love you, Shohei. Let's go, baby. Woo! We're gonna win the World Series again. Let's go.
It's gonna be so bad when you have to actually pay him money in 40 years.
Woo! Now my problem will be
I'm trying to get rid of Nicky. I don't know how to do it. Nicky, I was gonna say, Nicky, you're gonna do it yourself. Nicky, kick yourself out. Go Guards. Next up is Simon from Saskatchewan says, "What Captain Planet NES game was worse? Being fun costume." Man, I remember it being pretty bad. I did not like that game as a kid, and I liked Captain Planet a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever played this. I liked Captain Planet a ton too.
Captain Planet's fun. Man, can you imagine if today there's a cartoon show about how pollution is bad and it was partially funded by the government? Most people would freak the hell out.
They'd shit in their pants. Yes, absolutely.
Yep. Simon's back says, "Remember Mighty Max toys had rough 16-bit games." I remember Mighty Max. I wasn't a big Mighty Max mark, but I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. Actually,
you remember Mighty Max? I think it was
Let's
the
take a look here.
companion of Polly Pocket. I might be wrong there.
Yeah, I actually don't remember much seeing any like Polly Pocket commercials either. I think it might have just been outside of my time a little bit.
Yeah, maybe I'm making that part up about Mighty Max being.
Okay, all right. I vaguely remember these toys. Sure, okay. It did not register with me a lot though.
Joe Beezer says, "Why 2026, Mr. Minotti? Please make it make sense." Yeah, like I said, look, those are. Like, don't think those are Switch 1 games. They are, but those are just more Switch games. Those are more Nintendo games, and because they can run on Switch 1, they are going to. Right? You know, Nintendo's in a bit of an even different situation than a PlayStation or an Xbox, where a lot of their games are just like that, especially games from that handheld lineage, right, Jeff? Like the next WarioWare kind of thing can also just be like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that it's yeah, I think you're right. This is about teaching the audience what's happening here. That they're like, hey, get used to this because there's going to be a tier of game that comes to the Switch 1 still. I think you nailed it.
Next up from Joe Beezer, any special plans for episode 400? Face reveal, please. Yeah.
When is that?
Gosh,
9
happening,
episodes.
huh? Yeah. I mean, look, we'll do something. 400's not as important as like 500,
Sure.
right? And that'll be just a couple years away. We'll probably still be doing this at that point.
Don't like making plans. Not a big fan of it.
The week before, we'll be like, yeah, it'll be great. We'll talk about our
we'll come up with something.
bagpipes and video games or something.
There we go. Perfect.
Speaking of which, Joe Beezer says, new show idea. Jeff learns how to play the bagpipes.
Okay. I would like that. That'd be fun.
I feel like if you know to play the bagpipes, you're going to be spending a lot of weekends playing Amazing Grace at funerals.
Shit. Well, okay. Yeah, I'm like, I wouldn't hate that. Yeah, but that's bringing fun to people who are in that moment. Sure. I think there's a chance I get a wedding every once in a while.
What do you think Spock thought of Scotty playing Amazing Grace on bagpipes at his funeral?
He probably thought
he came back to life and watched the video footage of his funeral.
Yeah, he said it's not logical, and then walked out of the room.
Well, I don't believe in this religion. This isn't my culture. I guess it's a nice sentiment, Scotty. Thank you.
What if bagpipes just activated the Pon farr? Out of nowhere for no reason.
Made him horny.
Just made him super horny. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a distinct possibility. Next up from Mikey O'Leary. Is Samus's new suit great? Yes. Is it the same as Ironheart's suit in Black Panther Wakanda Forever? Also, yes. Well, I didn't see Wakanda Forever.
I actually haven't either. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it looks great. I don't know if I like it quite as much as that Dread suit. I think that Dread suit with the white and the blue looks super good, but this is a good looking suit for sure.
And you know what? I think that, in a Prime game, I think this suit might look better than that Dread suit might look in a Prime game for some reason. I don't know. It just looks so super sleek and understated in some ways, and then completely over the top in others. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. Exactly. There's a lot of aesthetic stuff going on with that game. I do like, she has the mind abilities. Like the one, even like one of the normal suits, she kind of has the third eye on top of the visor.
I
I'm
like
so
it.
excited. Of course, my YouTube crashed. 1 second while I find out where we were.
We were at, I think we're at Phil Kehoe, right?
Super chat left. Yeah, Phil
All right, let's
Kehoe
move.
says, Mike, I'm glad I'm not the only one that noticed Jeff's change of voice from his earlier podcast. My friends and I drummed it up to him, trying to use professional Grubb voice for more credibility.
So that's what it is earlier, I think, a little bit. Is you try to like find your voice. Actually, you could like find voice actors talking about this, and you can hear it in The Simpsons even, where they kind of start, every character starts a little bit higher, and then as the times go on, like every character's voice just gets a little bit lower as they relax more and more and just get more used to it. I think the Family Guy cast talked about it recently, so you can like Google that and see. And I think that's the same thing. Been doing this for a long time now and just have settled into it, and also different equipment.
Darachi says, more Sony IP on Switch. What would Jim Ryan think? Man, too bad Jim Ryan's not around here anymore to tell us. He retired and stopped showing up to the show. Too busy on the beach.
Yeah, he's down in Mallorca. Is that how you say that, Christian? Mallorca?
Sure, I'll let yeah.
Okay,
I'll allow that.
Close enough. Thank you. Yes, that's where British people all vacation, I think.
Kitty Catman 93 says, and while we're at it, Anne Rand was a foppish dunderhead. Really stinks that you can't curse on Super Chat's donger.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck her.
Absolutely.
Ali Miracle says Byzantine and weird makes for a fantastic bumper sticker and an image of Birdo or some shit. With an image of Birdo or some shit.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was hoping the virtual game card thing would be like on the talkover today. I hope it's Nintendo, so I hope it's Byzantine and weird, because that's how Nintendo does all of its online stuff or sharing stuff. So yeah, I bet it still will be.
Jesse Sakin. Oh, excuse me. El Grug says, Jeff walking up to the box with the voice recorder, hitting X, reading, there's something in here, then walking away 20 minutes in is always funny. Yeah, did you know you looked at that empty box before, like really early in the game, and it said there was something in there, and you didn't register it?
I didn't register, but also this is when I was still like getting used to the fact that, okay, I'm like going to the box, and I went up to it, I'm like, okay, it's either going to be something, or it's going to tell me that there's nothing in there. And that's why I was like, I'm like looking around in the level as well. So I'm kind of doing that and half looking out elsewhere. And I had not been in the process of, you got to kneel down. Anything on the ground below the waist, you cannot really interact with it unless you are kneeling. And it had not sunk into me at that point when that was happening. But by the end, my only answer was, it's got to be back in that first room. And so I was going to go back there, but I'm glad Mike popped off. That was very funny.
Yeah, that game did you dirty. That box was open. You were right.
That is such a signal to me that there's nothing in there. Yes, I can't. That's how I read that every time.
Jesse Sakin says, what is Giant Bomb a reference to? And while we're at it, what the heck is a Tokoto? Tokoto is Token and Miyamoto put together. It's great. Let me see if I got this right, Jeff. When Jeff Gertzman was starting Giant Bomb, he told people, I'm going to do my own thing. They told him, well, that's going to be a giant bomb. And that's why it's called that.
Yeah, that's the spirit of it. It was more like, they should like workshopping names and like, it's gonna be a bomb, a nuke, like it's gonna be exactly what you said, but it was more like him coming up with the name.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good. Next one then is from El Grug. It says, will Christian main Ronaldo in Fatal Fury? Pinaldo.
Absolutely not. Fuck that guy. All right, I don't care. I posted about this on Bluesky. I really don't give a fuck about guest characters for the most time. I'm like, yeah, whatever, put whoever in whoever game, I don't care. But this one feels gross. Just by the connections there are between like Ronaldo and the Saudis.
Oh,
and,
you're
like,
just racist against Saudi Arabia. Yeah, Saudi America. Might as well call it that. Yes.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not nice. He's not a nice guy. I don't like him. Even like I wasn't like he's a sex offender. He's been judged and everything. Like I don't like that guy. I don't understand why he's so popular. He never won a World Cup. I don't know what. I don't know what people see in this guy. Come on, what's going on? Let's stop.
Flam Mandrew says, I don't know why Nintendo doesn't want me to play Prime 2. Now I'm just using Prime Hack and playing on my Steam Deck instead. It seems good so far. I mean, yeah, look, you wanna buy the game. I get it. I understand it. It's annoying.
Yep. Prime Hack with that on Steam Deck or on PC with keyboard and mouse. It's pretty cool.
Simon from Saskatchewan says, epidermis. See, epidermis means your hair, so technically it's true. I think Nelson is an underrated character. Who's your favorite Lester Simpsons character? I'm a big Sideshow Mel fan.
Oh,
I
sure.
like the way that he's in the background a lot, almost never has any kind of significant impact on an episode. I think my favorite line in Simpsons ever is when Flanders says during some town hall, I want to hear from Sideshow Mel. Like, I don't know why I was thinking it's funny. Like, well, I want to really hear from that guy right now. The guy with the bone in his hair. So yeah, that's my pick.
I like Flanders's kids. Rod and Todd. Rod, yeah, Todd and Rod. Yeah. Yes. I don't know. They're every time they speak, I laugh. I think so. Yes, I like them a lot.
Ryan Allen says, I nearly blacked out driving home from work from laughing at the Abu Dhabi joke on the dump truck. I'm not proud of this. Yeah,
Abu Dhabi.
That's good. Kieran Smith says, Dan hating on anime earlier and then popping off for an anime Samus is peak Dan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I don't know how anime that Samus was. I mean, I guess depends on your anime. Anime is so many things. I get it.
Right. And anime is influenced by American sci-fi as well, which, I guess this Samus counts as that now.
I want to run the fence for Dan. I don't think Dan hates anime. I don't know why people like. It might give that impression, but he watches anime like all. He had a podcast where he talk about anime. Like, come on, people.
He definitely just likes a certain kind of anime, and I don't even know what the word for it is. But yeah, not the Gundam vibe.
I know what he hates: fan service, which I also hate. I understand his feeling when he sees like a teenager naked in anime. That's what he doesn't like. It's completely understandable. Like he sometimes he takes time to like recognize which one is it. It's okay. Leave that alone.
Yes.
Next one here is from Postman Dan. That's a different Dan. Says, "Oh, I'm going vertical." There you go.
That was a good. I was like, just let me know. And then you said that. I'm like, that's just a thing now. That should be a bumper sticker.
I'm sorry. That just got me. Thank you, Christopher, and I'm done.
Yeah, you know it feels. Kano Wood says already amazing Prime 4 fan art of the new stuff. Yeah, Metroid is like Mega Man. It just attracts a ton of incredible fan art of all kinds, incredible music.
Yep.
And anything. Like, the fans are just great, and they are also, for some reason, very talented people. It's like these franchises just attract the best.
Yep.
The very best.
Yep. I mean, I think it's because like the design work is all done by the best. So, yeah, when fans see that, they're like, "This, I want to make stuff like that," and I feel the same way.
Let's see here now. Next one is from Symbiosis. Says Metroidvanias and Run the Jewels are not for your children.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to start this poll. Run the Jewels is a rap group, which I think you would probably like. Run the Jewels.
Okay.
They're
would like a lot of rap.
They're kind of theatrical in some ways. And Killer Mike's just got that. He's got that voice. It's very good.
Gwen the Hunter says, have either of you played Adamfall? What do you think of British people? Pinoy's not a fan of British people at all.
No, they should know that by now. Yeah, absolutely.
Show that. But no, I haven't played Adamfall. Didn't get to check that one out.
I have it, and I haven't had a chance. I have been busy with the other game that we keep teasing. I'm sorry. And then I was playing Assassin's Creed and a handful of other stuff. So yeah.
I do have to say, I consider myself like a pretty versatile gamer. I like all sorts of genres and different kinds. When I see the word survival as one of the main tags in a game, I do get a little bit like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna care about that too much. And maybe I should get over that a bit.
I am definitely like, oh, I've liked those in the past. Is this going to be the new one? And then I'm like, I don't know. There's been 50 that I've wanted to try and I have not. So it kind of just gets added to the pile at this point.
Next up is from Jethrin. I'm losing my mind at people calling Metroid Prime 4 ugly fellas. Are the kids okay? Yeah, like I saw like some people are like, oh, it really has that like Switch 1 Vaseline look. And trust me, I was expecting it to, but I even like went back and looked at the trailer again. I'm like, I don't know. It looks pretty good to me. I do feel like a crazy bit, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks like Metroid Prime, which is still one of the best looking video games ever made.
Yep. So, next one, Simon from Saskatchewan. Sorry for the downer question. What are your thoughts on the Ronaldo controversy? That uniform is a symbol of imperialist brutality for many people in Asia. I don't know very much about that, Simon. I had to educate myself on that.
Same. Honestly, this is one where I tuned out, and it's just not for me. So I tried to be quiet and off to the side, so I didn't even see anything like that.
It's the first time hearing about it. So,
yeah, same.
I mean, I could definitely, I know that this game is a period piece, and I know some of the stuff that imperialist Japan was up to at the time. So yeah, I could see maybe how that would happen. But yeah, I'll look into that bit. Next one is from Glitch. Hey guys, love the show. Do you know if Sony is going to do a showcase or state of play in the summer? Thanks. I mean, they usually do something. They're going to do something this. Right?
Yeah. I mentioned this. This has got to be a couple months ago now. That they are debating between whether they're going to do a showcase or a state of play, but they'll do something. And I haven't heard an update since, so I have no new information on that. But I got the sense that they were like trying to pull off a showcase if they could. And what does that mean? Like, of course, they're Sony. They should just be able to do that. They have games coming, right? It is always about, can they distract their developers to make an asset for one of these showcases that takes a lot of time and a lot of resources and a lot of person power. So if they can do that, then I think they probably will try to have a showcase.
Next one is from Joshua Brungart. Will we ever get a Shoot Mario hockey game? Love you, dogs.
No, not a standalone one. It showed up in like that Mario 3 sport game.
Sports Remix or something. Yeah, Sports Mix. Yeah.
Sports Mix. I think it was. I never played that. It's just not popular enough in like every territory. It's very popular in Europe and North America, but you go to Asia and South America, it's just not going to play as much.
Yeah, it's rough. I'm still hoping we maybe do see a Mario baseball game.
I feel like baseball is inevitable at this point because baseball is so popular now in those main territories, except for maybe Europe. But
right.
Europe doesn't want to hear this. But I've heard somewhere they don't matter. So
hey, Tani, that's right, baby. He's the best baseball player in the whole world, baby.
He's really good. All right, we get it.
Shohei, you're the best, baby.
Nikki, you have to kick yourself out for me. I don't know how to. Thank you. Next up is Joe Oklahoma. Hype for the digital cards. Confirmation of Switch 2 edition games. Not as hype as Strong Bad is for Trogdor. Hi, fellow fan and former boss, Steven. I saw people saying this. I didn't really quite catch it, but there's something about them showing those digital game cards that led people to believe that Switch 2 versions of games is confirmed. Did you see this?
I saw people saying that, and I didn't look into it any further. I don't understand the thought process there. If anyone in chat wants to just say it. Did it say Switch 2 edition?
I don't know. I didn't get it. People were saying this. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, I always.
Jason Finelli wrote it on GameSpot. I'll read the story right now while you continue to do the show without me. J-Fan was what we call him.
Hey, this next super chat is from Jason Finelli.
Oh, J-Fan.
I thought we were for sure getting Mario Baseball today. Opening day, Manners have the baseball logo on their sleeve now. What the hell, man? Yeah, would have been pretty cool timing, and maybe it still happens Wednesday. Maybe it just doesn't quite happen yet. But boy, I would be down for it. I am, I love baseball, so opening day happy right now. I am just very much in the mood for all things baseball. Ooh, I should have. I need to find a copy of the Ken Griffey Nintendo 64 game now. They have the 64.
Oh yeah, that's you should just get an EverDrive. I mean, I know you like to get the games too, but like EverDrive, so you can just try the things on on a whim.
I did get an NES EverDrive actually. I haven't tried it yet, but I picked one of those up, so I had to play with that. Atomic Toaster Yo says hello, fellow gamers. Elon Musk here. Does anybody want to play games? Trump doesn't want to hang. It has to be weekdays. I'm busy on weekends when there's no one at government agencies to stop me. No, I don't want to play any games with you.
Yeah, I'll play Rochambeau. I go first, and then we'll take it from there.
Domino Crossing says, "Hey dogs, probably copium, but here's some Prime 2/3 scenario for you. What if they appear in the June Direct right before Prime 4 drops? Similar thing happened to Pikmin 1+2 like a month before 4 Penis. I mean, it could still very much be like, yeah, like something like that. Like, no, these are going to happen 1 month before. We're not going to announce them beforehand. It could still happen for sure.
Yeah, God, that does sound good to me. I hope that's how it plays out personally. Yes, I hope so.
Jason Finelli says, excited for Tomodachi Life, though. In the original, the official Iwata me stole my wife, ready to get hurt again.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Iwata
exactly.
gets what he wants.
Yeah, I wouldn't stand in the man's way. Absolutely not.
Laser Wolf says, in a hotel at the U.S.-Mexico border for work, hoping terrorists don't ruin my job. Tell me your favorite Detroit Lions of all time. Mine is Megatron.
Yeah, Megatron.
I know enough about football to realize he doesn't mean the Decepticon.
In this case, he's not referring to the Decepticon. No, obviously it's Barry Sanders. God, I was a kid watching Barry Sanders. Went to multiple football games where I saw Barry Sanders do stuff that you now see in the best Barry Sanders plays of all times, where he just breaks it for 80 yards after it looks like he's going to fall down in the backfield. It was a miracle to watch that man play football.
And then B. Diddy says, speaking of Metroid, do you think they'll ever port over Samus Returns? I mean, maybe eventually. I don't think anytime super soon, Jeff.
Yeah, so I'm still looking at the Switch 2 edition. What was the question?
Samus Returns, is that going to get ported anytime soon?
Yeah, maybe not anytime soon. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think it'll happen eventually. I mean, 3DS is just a weird one where all that stuff, they take their time on those because they're a little bit more work to get ported.
That's it for now, if you can believe it. We made it. Thank you so much, everybody. There's a lot of love. If you still want to send in a super chat, we will still read it before the end of the show. I promise.
All right. Well, in that case, let's take a break. Mike, you take the dog out if you need to. When we come back, what we're going to do is we're going to do our Switch 2 predictions for the Direct next week. We'll talk about that right after this.
Bye. Right, we're back.
Yep, no problem.
All right.
All right, you said there was community input.
Yeah, it's some podcast stuff. I put the link.
Wonderful.
We can just scan through it.
Yeah,
I told them to go crazy, so
sure.
pretty crazy.
Listen, let's get nuts.
Yeah, everybody gets like the
when
the
Christopher says
lukewarm
let's get
takes.
crazy, we get crazy.
That's true.
How you doing, Nikki?
What's your World Series prediction?
The Tigers in 6 over the Dodgers.
Wow. It's so
funny.
cute that you think the Dodgers are making out of the NLDS this year.
Yeah, that's honestly that's very
so
likely.
Cute.
Right.
It's so cute that you think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's probably
You know what? I
right.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I was doing it for you. I'm glad you at least like it.
No, I appreciate it. That's not happening. We got one.
Yeah.
We got one every 5, and that's all right to me. We'll win 102 games and then crash out to the fucking Diamondbacks or some shit.
Yeah, but you get to have fun watching that team all year for a very long time.
102 wins, it's gonna fucking bang though, you know?
Yeah, that's gonna feel real nice. Oh boy, man, the Dodgers are fun to watch. I liked watching the Dodgers last year.
It's good baseball, and they like each other. Sometimes, when I think the thing that's awesome about baseball is that because they don't do anything for most of the time they're there, they do have to just kind of hang out.
Yeah, it's a hangout
And then
thing.
because and you can tell if the guys on the team don't like each other because they're not having a good time.
It's like it's very obvious. Yes.
Yeah, it's really obvious, but all these guys like each other.
Yeah, and they're like taking selfies with one another like randomly all the
Yeah.
time. It's like, they're cute.
It's a good. Everyone wins.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna keep. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Oh,
I spent an hour watching YouTube shorts earlier, and
I know.
I couldn't, gun to my head, tell you what I watched.
I know, Nikki. Me too.
My friend called me and was like, and I almost cried when they called because I was like, I can't remember the last hour.
Yeah, you saved me, and I didn't know I need saving. It sucks.
I didn't know I need saving. It had me fucked up. Okay, hi Mike, I'm leaving. Bye.
Bye, Nikki. Thank you.
The thing about YouTube Shorts is that they go nuts. They don't care.
Yes.
It's not like TikTok. Like I watch. I don't know what I watch, like a guy shooting like a mannequin from like it's a million miles away or some dumb shit like that. And then all the other shorts were like people shooting and stuff. I'm like, God damn.
Yep.
Chill, YouTube. That's crazy. No, YouTube. YouTube, the platform. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. No, actually, I don't. How dare you accuse me and Mike of doing this? Mike, are you okay?
I can never. I'm never happy with the focus of this camera, so I'm holding up the apology note I wrote for you, seeing if like trying to read this on. My screen.
I was just making sure you weren't being held hostage and you're like had a ransom note up.
No,
Blink twice if you
Yeah.
need help.
pretty good.
Okay. Oh my God, Willow, Jesus.
Yep. Yep.
They went crazy, Christian.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's.
It is what it is.
No, I don't. You don't need to tell me that. Oh, God damn it. There we go.
It's our
We're
community.
not gonna be able to read like every single one of those.
No, we just
Already.
scan through them. We don't need.
Yeah,
to,
we'll hover. We'll do a little
I'll
hovering.
definitely read that one from Will.
Yes, exactly. All right, I am. Well, actually, let me fix my
bring it
camera,
back.
and then we'll be good. God, I like
Bring
the
it back
fit
and
of this
then you
shirt.
can run.
It somehow doesn't make me look as fat as I am. It's incredible.
Oh, you're fine.
Just
Maybe a little bit.
yeah, but all the weight is like right here, and like the shirt covers it up. So it's
It
just,
could be worse. Some of us have our weight there in other places that are unflattering.
all right. Well, talk about your huge butt anymore. Everyone loves it. We get it. All right. Wait, where is this? There it is. Okay, now my camera goes down here, and then. Nope, that's not matching.
I would
you
rather
yet.
talk about his butt than his balls all the time, to be honest.
Well, too bad. All right, we're gonna talk about his balls. All right, I am good.
I have like I told my friends who like wrestling about that, and I was like so excited in the podcast, and I'm like, man, I actually don't know if I want them to hear that.
It's like I put that stuff out there, and it's so easy when it's like just everyone online being like, we're listening, and then the imagining like a cousin listening to that. I'm like, oh no, I don't need that. All right, I can bring it back.
I mean, with this giant AB.
All right, we are back. Let's get into it. We are going to do our Nintendo Switch 2 Direct predictions. Mike Minotti, where do you want to start?
Price, Jeff. Are they going to announce it? How much is it going to cost?
Yeah, I think they have to. Part of me says that because this Direct was announced so far ahead of time that I feel like this needs to be all of it. They need to just give us
everything.
It's got to be everything. Yeah, I don't think we can get out of this and be like, and later this year you get the price and the release date. But here's all the stuff. No, this is it. We're getting all of the info now, and all the the principal info. So release date, price, when you can pre-order it, and how you can pre-order it. And I bet there's like a system for that as well for Nintendo Switch Online subscribers. That's my guess anyhow. So I think we get in there, and that price when it's announced is, I'm going to say $400.
Man, I always thought $400, and
I
now
know.
that we're so close, and the fact that I was so wrong about the PlayStation 5 Pro price, right? I was off like $100 there. Like all this uncertainty, part of me is like, why wouldn't it be $450? But
Yeah.
Nintendo. Yeah, but I could just, Nintendo. Like, look, they could afford it right now if they want to, but they'd rather not take a hit on it. Oh, I don't know. Do you think 500 is a possibility? Because 500,
It's a possibility.
that is the one it's a possibility. That's the one
It
makes
is
me raise an eyebrow.
It is within the range of 400 to 500, and it could go all the way up to 500. I don't think it's ever going to go over 500, but I mean, so what's the trouble there? The trouble is how it compares to a PS5 and an Xbox Series X. Now, does Nintendo care about that? I think they do a little. I think they want to be affordable. I think they want to be seen as being affordable. So I think that just stops them from going to 500. So I'm with you a little bit on 450. Now maybe, okay, how about this? 500 with a pack-in game.
Man, it's been a while since we've done that, huh?
Yeah, but I mean you put 500, put the new Mario Kart in there, charge $500. People are gonna feel like they're getting a deal.
Yeah, it's true. But boy, they can also sell that Mario Kart game anyways. But
Sure,
you're right.
yeah.
Maybe it's like, well, they're gonna buy it anyways. Let's just throw it in the bundle to make them feel like they're getting a deal. Maybe, Jeff. They could definitely do that trick. I don't think that's the most likely scenario.
No.
I don't know. Is it weird to do a console with the 50? Do you think it's gotta be more of an even 100?
I mean, I do think it's weird, but I don't think that. I would rank it as, here's the most likely scenarios for me. Most likely is 400. Second most likely is somewhere between 400 and 500, and third most likely is 500, but with some extra thing in it to help offset that cost. I do think that's possible because once you've established that $500 number and you find a way to make people feel good about it, you are safe to hover around that. And like, that game, like for them, loses like cost over time, right? They've already produced it, they've already made it, and the longer you bundle it in, it's basically like free for them to include it, and yet they could still keep charging $500 for that system for a very long time. So I think they will try to find something creative to get up to as high of a price as possible. So yeah, I don't know. As I kind of talk, maybe I'm talking myself out of 400 being the most likely. I don't know. It's going to be weird no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget, there is going to be a more premium version of this console eventually that will be an
You're
OLED
right.
version.
This is not OLED. Yep, good point.
This is not OLED, so I don't know. I'm gonna stick with 400 for now, but we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see.
I won't be at all shocked if it's anywhere up to $500. If it's over 500, I will be. I'll be surprised.
Nope. They haven't said Mario Kart's a launch game, but we both think that's a launch game almost for sure, right?
Yes. I think that is the launch game. The question then is, well, I guess what is Mario Kart if we want to go down that road for these productions, and then what other one or two Nintendo games launch with this system?
Yeah, and look, I mean, whether Metroid Prime 4 kind of launches with it or not, there still kind of need to be one or two other ones, I think.
One or two other Switch 2 games, yes.
Yes, yeah. And I mean, I do think Metroid Prime 4 probably is actually like launching for both Switch 1 and Switch 2.
Yeah, no matter what, I think
Switch
Metroid Prime 4
today.
is there in some form, yes.
God, I almost wish I could pull up all the development studios and like.
You know what? I have a list in my Keep, my Google Keep, where I can like talk about what each studio is. Let me do that real quick while you go with another. Whoa, that was just the last thing I was looking at on here. Okay, so I have it. All right, EPD1 is Kirby, Bayonetta, Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, and Pokemon. It is.
There's
yeah.
been rumors of that Planet Robobot remake. Is that
and that didn't show up here.
Launch game didn't show up here. Didn't show up here. Switch 2, like part of me is like, not that remakes aren't real games, but we kind of need some more new games, right?
Right.
Again, like Planet Robobot remake is the kind of thing I thought may have been their surprise April game or something.
Right, totally, and that's what that felt like. So I don't know, that being a launch game for Switch 2 feels odd for some reason. Right. I don't know.
And like we're definitely gonna get a brand new Kirby game in a couple of years-ish. It'll probably be the sequel to Forgotten Land. I'll be very excited. I don't think that's launch. I don't think that's the same year as we're assuming later we're gonna get a 3D.
No, you want to build up a little bit of an install base. You want give families a chance to get the Switch 2 before you start dropping a lot of new Kirby games like that. Kirby did very well, but you want to maximize the possibility for that game to do well, I think. Let's see. We got Xenoblade, Bayonetta recently. Fire Emblem. I don't know. That remake could be on Switch 2 now. We don't know.
Maybe Thracia is just
Genealogy.
Genealogy is just a Switch 2 game, and it's a launch game.
Yep.
Why not?
All right, then EPD2, and this is Entertainment Planning Division. I think is what that stands for, everybody. Yeah, then they have 10 of these. I think they have 11, but the 11th is a mobile studio. EPD2 is the team that manages external production, just like EPD1. Like I said, that they work on, Kirby and Bayonetta. What they really do is they send producers from Nintendo out to work with external studios, like HAL Laboratories, on these games. And they're very involved. But that's how some of these EPD studios work. That's the same for 2, which works with external teams on Smash, Mario and Luigi, Mario Sports, Golden Sun, and Yoshi games.
We haven't had a Yoshi game in a while, Jeff.
Yeah, I think a Yoshi game. Woolly World never came to Switch. We could just get that at some point, but I would lean towards a new Switch 2 Yoshi game at this point, personally.
2D. You don't think that's one that's doing the Kirby jump to 3D?
God, I wish.
That one 2D. I wish, but I don't think.
I think they look at as Yoshi as for even younger people than Kirby. And Kirby was the original, like, let's make the easiest game possible so anyone can play it.
Yeah. Yeah, Yoshi seems a bit more likely than some other things than I think about it.
Yeah, in Mario Sports, we do think baseball could happen, but I don't know when.
Baseball could happen. Could be that.
Yep. EPD3, just Zelda.
Well, I mean, if it's going to be... Look, we're definitely going to see Breath of the Wild as the poster child for whatever it means to make a Switch 1 game look better on a Switch 2, whether it's buy this new version of the game, just upgrade it, just put it in the slot, and it's going to happen.
Yep.
Like 60 frames per second, Breath of the Wild is going to be a part of that presentation.
I think that is, yes, that's right. That's the Zelda game for this year. And really, that's probably all why this year we're not getting Twilight Princess and Wind Waker again. Real quick on that, like talking about GameCube NSO, again, just guessing. But I hope they don't do that with Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. That would be insane, right? They made the HD ones, and they're so good.
That's the thing. Yeah, look, you can give me those original versions on there for
yeah,
free,
as well, right? Yeah.
But no, we want the Wii U versions that you made. We actually like those a lot. They were very well made.
EPD4 is the Weird Team. They do Game Builder Garage, Labo, Ring Fit Adventure, and Brain Age. What's the last one of these we got?
There's going to be a Ring Fit Adventure 2 eventually, Jeff.
Yeah.
Especially since that's one that probably isn't going to be super backward compatible because of the very specific slots for the
Yes, it won't be.
Right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know if that's launch.
Yeah, that feels like another one. You wait like a year or two before you launch that. That could be like the big holiday hot item in year 2 or year 3. And I wouldn't be surprised by that. And, something like one of these weird ones, Brain Age, or it's the Weird Team. They make new weird stuff all the time, like Game Builder Garage. It could be time for something just completely new and out of nowhere. Chad, did you just hear a Discord sound?
I did, because, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'll come in the same groups as you. That's why I heard it.
Okay. I have muted it, and I think we are good now. All right.
That was Nikki saying at Summer Game Fest we should do a film of the bumpers where we get our brain ages. Very nice.
Oh, that's a good idea. Oh shit. Okay, let's do it. We could do that at PAX even, or maybe Summits. We'll try to get you out there. Let's see. EPD. EPD 5 is Wii Sports, Splatoon, and Animal Crossing. This is an interesting one.
Because gosh, Animal Crossing and Splatoon. Animal Crossing for sure, and hey, that could be year 1. I think it's a big slam dunk, big year 2 release, if not this year.
Yeah, I think either one works, but you're right. Like that comes. Yeah. I mean, they don't need to release that at launch to get people to buy a Switch. People are going to buy a Switch, but if they have it in 2, it will keep the momentum going no matter what.
Right. Like there's probably it's like, man, doing Mario Kart and Animal Crossing in the launch, that's almost excessive. But, maybe you need to aim big there. Splatoon's interesting. I think I even asked Sean this earlier today, where I was like, do you think that they just do a big content update for Splatoon 3, like to get people to play again when you can play it on a Switch 2, or are they just going to kind of hold off until, well, here's Splatoon 4 and here's the big Switch 2 one? And if that's the case, I don't think we're getting Splatoon 4 year 1, even though Splatoon 2 was a very nice year 1 Switch game.
Yeah, I think it's just, if we were in a situation where we're waiting for Splatoon 3 in this moment, 100%. But they've just done the thing too many times now with that series where Splatoon 2 felt like the ultimate edition of Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 3, and a lot of, not considering the single player content or some of the side stuff, but the main reason you play those games, the competitive multiplayer, has felt like 2 ultimate editions in a row in some ways. So for the 4th one, I think they need to take some time and kind of expand on the idea. Not that they've been burned by that yet. Splatoon 3 was the biggest new game they launched in a long time, especially in some territories like Japan. Which one do you think we get first, Splatoon or Animal Crossing? I think Animal Crossing.
Probably Animal Crossing, but there's still a part of me, it's like they're going to figure out some way to get Splatoon on Switch 2 early. I don't know what that looks like. Like maybe not Splatoon 4. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it
maybe it is Splatoon 3 Ultimate Edition. Yeah, maybe it is
like
Deluxe.
That, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess they really could just do that. All right, EPD 6 manages production for Metroid Prime, Paper Mario, Chibi Robo, and Luigi's Mansion. Now, again, this is not like some of these other EPDs. Each of those have their own producer inside of EPD 6. So though all of those could be being worked on at the same time. And Mike, I think they're making a new Metroid Prime. I'm just going to throw that out there.
What? No way.
I think they might be doing that.
Dan Riker counterpicked it. It's not happening.
Hey, listen, I think this one he might have missed on. And then Luigi's Mansion. God, that could be a year 1 game. How long has it been since Soccer Slam?
Yeah, I almost said Sega Soccer Slam.
I know. That's what I did say. Yes.
Yeah, Battle League was a bit ago. Luigi's Mansion 3, longer ago. Yeah, now, again, do we get this holiday the Luigi game and the Mario game? That sounds kind of crowded, but also kind of like a marketing dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have if you put out Luigi's Mansion 4 in October, and then you have
and it would be October, so that helps. We know
Yes.
it'll be then.
And then
September.
November, December, you have the new 3D Mario. Yeah, that's a good year. Maybe.
It's another one, Jeff, where if it's not this year, I think Luigi's Mansion is like a year 2 almost certainly. I think it's the first 2 years. It's Luigi's Mansion 4. That series has just been on the up and up. It kind of became our meme game with just talking about how successful Nintendo games can be from just suddenly being on Switch. I'm very excited to see what a Luigi's Mansion 4 looks like. 3 was maybe one of the biggest overachievers for me in terms of, what I thought about that series before the Switch and then afterwards.
Mario Strikers was 2022, so maybe it's a bit soon, I guess. Maybe.
I mean, maybe a little, maybe next year. Maybe next year.
Yeah. That, for other kinds of games, that might be a bit fast, but I think, they knew they were going to be making a new Luigi's Mansion game as soon as Luigi's Mansion 3 came out. So they did the Strikers first. Probably at the same time, someone was doing a lot of work on Luigi's Mansion 4. So, yeah, maybe next year. All right. And then what else do we have? Paper Mario. The Mario RPG games will continue one way or the other. They did 3 of them, like whether they were remasters or new games here in the last little bit. So they'll continue to do that. What that looks like, I don't know.
Yeah. I wonder, probably it's like, are they gonna remake Paper Mario 1 like they did Thousand Year Door? Do we actually get a new Paper Mario that is more like Thousand Year Door? Because that remake was so good. Do we get a Mario RPG 2? I don't think we're getting another Mario and Luigi anything, remake or new game, what have you, for quite a while, if ever. But yeah, there's going to be something Mario RPG related. I don't think year 1, we did kind of get a lot of that in the last couple years of the Switch one.
EPD 7 is Metroid, Rhythm Heaven, Tomodachi Life, Famicom Detective Club. They're busy. Metroid.
They actually just released a bunch of things.
Yeah, this is 2D Metroid. But 2D. I guess, what do you think is happening with 2D Metroid? They're probably taking some time while Metroid Prime 4 happens.
They're taking some time because you got Metroid Prime 4 this year. Plus, Mercury Steam's working on a different game.
They're doing something else with a different company entirely. 505,
and
I think.
And I think it's totally likely that after that, then their next game is maybe Metroid 6. Sure. But no, not year 1, not year 2 even, 2D Metroid. Hopefully eventually, but no, not super soon.
But yeah, they got 2026 is their year with Rhythm Heaven and Tomodachi Life, and then Famicom Detective Club. All these studios have other games as well. These are the ones I just wrote down when I was doing this. These are maybe the most prominent ones at that time. EPD 8 is Super Mario, Captain Toad, and NES Remix.
I think they're making a new Mario game.
I think you might be onto something. Yeah, I think that's very likely happening.
And I don't think it's a launch game. I think we see it. I think we see it this Wednesday at least. And that excites me, Jeff. I love almost nothing as much as 3D Mario games. I really don't know what to expect from this one, especially with Odyssey being so wild and so creative and so unexpected. This could go in so many different directions. I can't wait. It is one of the things where it would be a bummer to not see it. So I really hope we get a peek at it.
Yeah. What if it's that team and it is like, we're doing a new take on like Donkey Kong, but it's a 3D. It's basically a 3D Mario game, but there's a slight twist on it for where it's like you're playing as Mario and you're chasing down Donkey Kong again. Would that be fine?
That's fine. I mean, I think they're still going to position that as like the next Mario game more than anything else, too.
I agree.
Donkey Kong's...
I think that Mario, even though they got a Donkey Kong movie coming, they have the Donkey Kong stuff at the park. They had all the Donkey Kong Country games on Switch. Despite all of that, they know Mario is as popular as he's ever been in this moment. So they're going to do a Mario game. All right, then let's see. EPD 9, Mario Kart, ARMS, and I just wrote down Nintendo's 'S. I don't know what that is about, but yeah,
Mario. Also Nintendogs.
Maybe that's Nintendogs. Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
Mario Kart. I think they might do that.
I think they might be making a Mario Kart. I mean, the question is like somebody else working on ARMS. I don't think we're getting an ARMS 2, unfortunately. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, I don't want to say that's impossible, but yeah, it feels unlikely. We'll see.
Not imminently, anyways.
He says, "What? No!"
I know. Big Twin Tower fans. I know.
And then EPD 10 is Pikmin, New Super Mario Brothers, and Super Mario Maker. Basically the 2D Mario team.
Yeah, we got the 2D Mario pretty recently, and then what was the first one?
Pikmin, and we got a Pikmin not too long ago.
Yeah,
We got them
we'll
around
get
the same
a Pikmin
time,
5.
honestly.
We'll get a Pikmin 5, and it will be great, and I'll be very excited for it. That's like a year 3, year 4.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, much, much, much later into the Switch, we get Pikmin.
Yeah.
You know, and it does feel like Wonder, they could just take Wonder and update that in some small way for the Switch, too, and let that one ride for the next long. You know, they did deluxe versions of some new Super Mario Brothers games. They could do a deluxe version of Wonder, and I would welcome that. I think that'd be very cool.
So, yeah, kind of going through that, there's like there's some things where it's like, okay, it's been a while since a Yoshi, Animal Crossing, like maybe Luigi Mansion. It's hard to tell. And they could do something original and weird. They could bring back an old franchise. Let me name some dormant Nintendo franchises, Jeff, and you give me a scale 1 to 10. 1 being least likely, 10 being very likely. Is it coming back?
All right.
For the Switch 2 launch window, which let's say encompasses the whole first year. If you think it's a launch game, you tell me.
All right. I'm opening my third Samus Eye. Let's do this.
F-Zero.
I'm going to put that one at a 6.
Star Fox.
Is that above or below F-Zero? I think I'm gonna go below for now. I'm gonna go with 4. I think they do get to Star Fox eventually this generation, but that one actually still takes some time.
Mother.
Jeez. This feels crazy. I'm gonna put that at okay. What is this you said for launch?
Launch window.
Launch
First
window.
Year,
okay. Then 2.
Wave Race.
Fucking 10, baby. Let's go. No, realistically, that one is probably a 3. Boy, I hope I'm wrong.
Excite. As an Excite bike.
Yes. Or Excite bots. Or Excite trucks. I'm gonna put that one at a 4. Yeah, a 4. I think there is a small chance for that one.
Pilot Wings.
Okay. This is one where at one point in time it would be much higher, but Pilot Wings is okay. So what I was going to say is Pilot Wings is their tech demo game series. They did that for like Mode 7 on Super Nintendo, for 3D on the 3DS, for 3D on the N64, different kind of 3D. And then they didn't really need to do that anymore because they were kind of going with very basic tech going forward. But they maybe have a mouse that they want to do some stuff with on the Switch too. So I'm going to go with a 7. I think there's a strong chance that there is a Pilot Wings in the launch window for the Switch 2.
Speaking of that mouse, Mario Paint.
9. I think Nintendo cannot talk about a mouse for a Nintendo console and not have Mario Paint or something from the Mario Paint universe launch alongside it.
Nintendogs.
Yeah, it does feel time to return to Nintendogs. I think it's overdue. And yet, for launch window, I'm gonna say probably not very high. Although, how difficult can that be to make? I guess if that's EPD 9, that's Mario Kart Team, then maybe it's not very likely. So I'm gonna go with a 3.
Kid Icarus.
Yeah, this one's tough. So I'm going to put this one right in the middle, be a little bit of a coward. I'm going to put it at 5. And thinking there is that we thought that Bandai Namco was working on that. And then Bandai Namco, the reason we thought that is they were working on a remaster of a Nintendo action adventure game. Some people thought it was for the 3DS. That would be the one. That's the team that was probably working with Sakurai on his previous games. So it made sense. But then Bandai Namco said they canceled a project they were working on Nintendo with. And I think many of us assumed it was that. So I'm going to put it at 5 because we don't know if that's even something that's happening.
Electroplankton.
Yeah, we'll just say it's a 1. That could just be a 1. Electroplankton.
It's a 3. I think it's a 3.
Okay, no, it's fine.
Mouse.
I'd love to hear that you disagree with. I love to believe.
Look, I don't believe that much. I said a 3.
Yeah, but 3 is belief compared to a 1.
Sit in Punishment.
Treasure's like weirdly not dead, but also weirdly very dead.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
It's hard to say. So I'll go with a 2 on Sin and Punishment because it's like they're really going to put in that much work for Sin and Punishment, a series that like does play to the very hardcore, but only to the very hardcore.
It could be a mouse game, though.
That's a good point. That's interesting. Okay, I'll bump it up to a 3.
Punch Out.
Yeah, Punch Out's doesn't have much of a chance because I do think Next Level, right? It's working on Luigi's Mansion. Excuse me. And they and also, I think I buy what Imran said a few weeks back about how Nintendo was surprised at the backlash towards the racial caricatures that they had in Punch Out, where you would punch Glass Joe and baguettes would fly out of him because he's French. So maybe it doesn't have much of a chance. It should. Every Punch Out game is phenomenal except for the arcade one. So I'm gonna go with a 2, unfortunately.
All right, just a couple more here. Golden Sun.
Yeah, Camelot making an RPG again, especially one that maybe needs to be a little bit bigger, seems unlikely to me these days. They can't even put RPG modes in the sports games, which they work on some of those still, right? I think so. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but either way, I'm gonna put that at a 3. Yeah, I know that a lot of them are ended up in that zone, but that's just where a lot of these franchises are at.
And finally, Star Tropics.
I'll go higher than maybe you think I might go with this, because I do think Nintendo does want to bring back something weird every once in a while. And Star Tropics is one that I think they do mother stuff before they get to Star Tropics.
Sure.
But maybe not. So I'll go with a 4. I'm gonna believe on your behalf, Mike.
I like that, Jeff. I like that. I'll go with. I guess I have to be slightly more optimistic than you. So I cannot in good conscience say a 5. I'll say 4.
Yeah, we'll 4 this one. Absolutely. I hope so. That'd be cool.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, talk about those, Jeff. There's something about Mario Paint and Pilot Wings. And maybe I'm just like biased because I do remember Pilot Wings being the launch style franchise. It has been a bit, not too long, but a bit. So yeah,
and it's like,
I wouldn't be shocked.
They are gonna want to test their tech. They are gonna want to do that, and it's maybe that means something new, like it did on the Wii, right? Wii Sports was the reason we didn't exactly get a Pilot Wings on the Wii. I don't think we did. And so maybe they have something along those lines for the mouse. Maybe that's Mario Paint. That could be the case, but I think you have Pilot Wings for showing like what the mouse can do for, action kind of video games, and then you have Mario Paint to show the creativity side, and you do both. I'm hopeful we get both. That would be fantastic. I like Pilot Wings a lot.
Okay, one last thing, Jeff. We should get to the community here, but launch. Do you have like a window in mind? When do you think the Switch 2 is coming out?
I think all the rumors are right about June at this point. I want to believe it could be as early June, but I don't know. So I'll just say June vaguely.
Just had this Switch 1 Direct, and they did not really announce any games from Nintendo coming out until 2026 for the Switch 1. Like their next major games are, Metroid Prime 4, whenever that comes out. They didn't give a date. Didn't give a date for ZA. So like their next major games are gonna be Switch 2 games, so it can't be that long. June, maybe July at the late, maybe August at the very latest. No way, it's holiday. It's before holiday.
Yeah, it's happening here before summer, basically, or at the beginning of summer. So that's exciting. We'll be maybe playing this thing by Summer Game Fest. That would be very cool.
And what's fun, Jeff, again, like our very first episodes of this show, when it was Games Beat the Sides, was talking about the imminent reveal of the Switch 1, or it just happened, right? Yep. So it's wild to be here in episode 391, this close to.
And then Nintendo started for the OLED. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, we started Nintendo because the OLED happened. That's funny. Again, we'll remind you at the end of the show, but Last Nintendo is going to be Wednesday night next week, so that we can talk about the Switch 2 Direct. So look forward to that, everybody. Jeff, we should probably look at the community here. Yeah.
Just real quick, we'll go through some of these. Oh, okay. Well, I'll read. Red-blooded American Eden said no new Golden Sun. That's going to be a thing. Yeah.
Jeff, I like that we made Samoa Joe.
Yes, me too. I was legitimately proud when I would see him kind of like buckle, like double over a little bit. It was like, oh man, I think Samoa Joe fucking rules.
I think he is great.
I
awesome.
meant it. I love him. He is awesome. So yeah, making him laugh was fantastic.
DNA, Jeff.
Yeah.
DNA, damn it.
Yep.
he's a cool dude.
Cool dude. Absolutely. That was a good time. Go listen to Voicemail Dump Truck, everybody. You should be listening. At a certain point, I'm like, are people trolling us every week? They're like, this is an all-timer episode. But no, I think we actually are just on a good run. And it's a good show because
it's a fun show.
It can be a different cast every week, and yet it still always works. It's like, I don't know. We just have a good thing going over there.
Good energy.
Yep, absolutely. All right.
And shouts to Nikki for hosting, by the way.
Yes,
Incredible job,
Nikki. Of course, Nikki did a great job, just like always. Willow Golf Game Enjoyer Davis says everybody's hentai golf back shots. And then, yeah.
It was already funny. I missed the back shot when I was just looking at it. That's good.
Yep, that's pretty good. Let's see. Velocity Prime says the C button on the Switch 2 will connect you to a community app that integrates with the music and news app. It also has Miiverse / Mario Paint style art implementation to post images. Yeah, we didn't talk about that. The C button was confirmed by the Nintendo Today app. So
right. So
what's it do? We don't know.
Gotta be community, but we'll see. We'll find out on Wednesday what that button does.
Yep, I think community, but you hold it and it brings up the sharing functionality of the community side.
Yeah, clip and all that stuff. Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Low Rules perplexed as a new 3D Mario is not announced or coming out this year. Oh no. Sorry, everyone. We are gonna have to scan through these. We have another podcast to record. Tommy Pencils.
We got a Columbro tonight.
We got Two Steps Closer today to Ratchet and Clank. Street Pass returns.
You said earlier, like there is a line, and like that. I love Ratchet and Clank on Switch. It seems a little early for that line to be.
Oh yeah, I think we're a ways away from that. Let's see. Always Be Clothing, I think, is saying Animal Crossing. Yeah, Breath of the Wild Deluxe. That's definitely something we're leaning toward. A trailer for a theme park opening. Yeah, I guess that's basically happening at the same time.
Yeah, you think, but I mean, I thought they would have talked about that today a little bit. Hey,
Ridge
Racer said Ridge Racer. It's not impossible, Jeff, that we get a Ridge Racer tomorrow.
It is the launch window racing game franchise for sure. So maybe. Let's see. Two-time champ Beefhammer says a man can hope. $2.99. Yeah, well, good luck with that.
I think 500 is more likely than 299. 600 is more likely than 299. I don't know.
Yeah, God, I can't even imagine that world. Luigi's Skankin 3 says the big 3D Mario game is actually a Donkey Kong game. Yep. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 2.
2, like Peggle 2.
Beef Sparkle Hades 2 1.0 release date. That feels plausible. Yeah, I think that's something that they probably are trying. They were probably trying to do that as when they planned 1.0 in the first place.
I think it's more likely than Spoon Heaven / Silksong.
At this point, yep. Villain Mac is showing a teabagging and Halo the Master Chief Collection.
This has come up a few times that people think like it would be this kind of shock thing to just get Halo on there, but it's a little hard to imagine.
Yep.
Maybe.
Let's see here. They show off the mouse functionality demoing an RTS game, maybe a Microsoft tie-in with Age of Empires 4. That's from Hammond of Texas. That is actually not a bad thought. Those things have been made for console, so if people just want to play with a controller, they could do that. But showing mouse functionality as well could work.
That's why we're not seeing Metroid Prime 2 and 3 remastered yet. They're gonna have mouse functionality.
Oh.
Or maybe not. No, that's stupid. They could just reveal that part later.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that'd be cool. Listen, I'll take anything I can hang my hat on for that right now. There will be no Silksong news at the Nintendo Direct. Yeah, we're all kind of feeling that now. F-Zero says Dark Steel Brushwag. Let's see. And then native Game Pass streaming app says Fudsack. Oh, yeah, and Mitchie Poo was saying $70 US for major first-party releases. Yeah, I think all of the Nintendo first-party games, as long as they make sense, will be $70. Like if it's like,
yeah, Here's the Kingdom was.
Yep.
Probably $70. Yeah.
What's Metroid Prime for?
I don't know what they said.
They didn't say. I'm saying, what do you think it's going to be?
What do I think it's going to be? Maybe the Switch One. You know what? Maybe it's just $70, Chef. Maybe it's just $70.
I guess that's probably the safe bet at this point.
Although, like Metroid Prime Remastered was $40, Donkey Kong Country Returns $60. So the pricing of Metroid confounds me a bit. So I don't.
Yep. God, I just feel like, they're doing the digital card thing at a time when it's like physical games could cost more because of tariffs. So they will probably be pretty aggressive on $70, and also you should buy digital. All right, I think that's probably gonna do it. You know what? Have you been playing anything? I've been playing Mother 3, but I talked about that on Tuesday, and everything else I've been playing I can't talk about yet.
Yeah, I mean, I busted out my Nintendo 64, Jeff, and that was actually a lot of fun. I know I talk smack about the 64, but boy, more so than any other system, like actually playing the actual console and holding that controller in the hand, like that is one where the NSO experience doesn't necessarily give me a ton of joy. I really do need that console. I need the Rumble pack. I want to know that my expansion pack is in there.
Mm-hmm.
But like it was just kind of neat. I had Mischief Makers, and I had my original carts for almost all of these games, a ton of them. And I remember, I liked Mischief Makers a lot, but I couldn't like beat one of the last bosses. So I put it in there, and like it's one of those games that asks you how old you are when you play it. So it says like Mike, age 10. And I was just like, man, okay.
Wow.
It's like, oh wow, that was that long ago, huh? I lived so much more since then than I did before then.
That's bananas to think about it that way.
And I was just like, no, let's just like start up this save file and try to beat this game. It's this boss that was really difficult for me, and this time I was able to like figure it out. Then there's basically 2 bosses after it. It's like, oh, there you go. I beat Mischief Makers finally. Picking up a save file from 28 years ago. Yeah, just like there's something about the 64, and I get it, that is somehow more nostalgic than other consoles. It's just very nostalgic.
Yes, I think it's the way that some people are about like Atari and the European computers and things like that, and even the American computer scene or Japanese computer scene. Like some of those people are diehard about that stuff, and I think the N64 was that for a lot of people. It's this weird other system that feels forgotten in some ways, and in a lot of ways, it's just not at all. And it's like, no, it should be prominent. And so I think people just kind of get behind it in a big way. Yeah, there's something about it.
I did also put in Star Fox 64. I was like, let's play a little bit of this. Like that game is basically designed you can beat it relatively quickly. And there's different routes. So I just ended up playing through the whole thing again because it's amazing. It's a super fun game. But like, again, it has these high scores at the end, and it's just like there from when I was kids. So like it starts from the bottom, and the only 3 people on there are me and my brother. So I'm like scrolling up. It's like my initials, AJ's initials, Chris's initials. And I'm like, who's number 1? Who's number 1? And there's like 5 through 2 were AJ, and I was not feeling very confident. And then we got to 1. It was MSM. I was so excited. It was me.
Samuel?
Samuel, right.
Okay, all right.
Right, Jeffrey Michael Grubb.
Yeah, there it is. It's tougher for you to remember, to be fair.
Yeah, gosh, I had a ton of fun. And I have some 64 games here I want to still play through. I actually picked up Bomberman Hero.
Oh, fun.
There's a bunch of good Bomberman games on 64. Bomberman Hero is the most platformy of them. Yeah,
is Bomberman Hero 2 the one that's like $400 or something like that?
That's Bomberman 64 2.
Okay.
There's Bomberman 64, Bomberman Hero, Bomberman 64 2.
Okay.
Yeah, and Bomberman Hero was the one that was supposed to be a Bonk game that they just kind of turned into a Bomberman game. That's why it feels so different.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, there you go. A little trivia for you. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. There's a game that I loved as a kid, and it's, it was always a little bit kind of, I don't want to say janky, but a little it's probably a little bit janky, but we loved it
particular.
Anyways.
Yes. Yeah.
It's particular, and that's a game that I would love to actually finally beat. And then I got GoldenEye here.
I beat that as a kid, I guess I was a teenager almost, but yeah.
I got GoldenEye, which I talk a lot of shit about. At some point, I want to play through GoldenEye and be better informed. And if I love it or hate it after that, we shall see. But yes, I just I actually was in an N64, and it was playing through it.
Yep. All right. You know what? Let's get to the super chats, Mike.
Yeah. Let's finish these off. Where did we start off?
I think we got quite a
here,
few.
Where JD Camp says Miyamoto says Jam was right and flashes a watch. We're not getting that watch yet, I don't think, Jeff.
Yep. Listen, there might be some weird stuff, but they might hold off on that for a bit. Maybe that'll be included with the Ring Fit Adventure 2.
Mikey O'Leary says, to Universal, put a Kirby light at Epic Universe where you go through his mouth a la Monstro on Storybook Link announced at Disneyland, you cowards. Beat best. Oh, that'd be fun. I think you're going to like that. Yoshi Ride's cute. It's short, which is,
sure.
I wish it was longer, but it's cute and it's fun. Nintendo Derek says, which Switch 1 games do you think are most likely to get an improved Switch 2 version besides Breath of the Wild 4? I really love them to revisit Pikmin 4 and add New Game Plus and more content. It should be the Pokemon games, but somehow I think it's not going to be.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like
good.
some games that like I don't really think need it that much, like Smash Brothers or Mario Kart, or I guess Odyssey could benefit in some ways, but not a ton. But they'll probably do something with Odyssey. Well, Wonder doesn't need it at all.
No,
Like,
it did.
Even we just mentioned 3. What frame rate was that game at?
It was whatever it was. It was fine. It was like
exactly. Like
it's the best. I mean, it's like a lot of ways the best looking game on the Switch, so it doesn't need much.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially like those 2 Zelda games are the best games. They also are the 2 that like there's like they're very ambitious games on this primitive tech. They will just obviously get big benefits. Maybe the Xenoblades will get help too. What's so funny there?
Janet Cho in chat. What do you mean no watch? TikTok, Nintendo, TikTok. Hi, Jan.
Yeah. Gosh, I bet there's some other ones that I'm forgetting here, but it's gonna be dominated by Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Breath of the Wild will be the one. I do like. I think you're right. It doesn't need it, but I think Wonder is one that does get it because they just want to sell a 2D Mario game for the next 5 years.
Next up is John Cody. I moved to LA 11 days ago, and I've been to Universal 9 of those days. Thought Mike would appreciate. My sister said, "I'm a sick fuck." Hell yeah, John Cody. That rules. How's that Fast and the Furious coaster coming along there? They were building the supports still. There's some track laid out there.
It was like kind of wrapping around the staircase or the escalators.
Now, my real question is, how many times have you seen Waterworld? Because it better be more than one.
Yeah, it better be around like 4 times, actually.
That's a fun park. It's a different park, but it's a fun park.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in LA, like it was such like I'm so glad we did that when we were there with Sean. It was like, yeah, we're here. We should just go to Universal.
Right, especially if you're like in downtown LA, like going to Universal is much easier than getting to Disneyland.
Yep.
Next up is Willow Davis, who says, I would love to wake up one morning to find that Master Chief came onto my Nintendo Switch 2.
Trying to see if Christian was gonna have that one queued up because I'm sure he saw that, but all right, apparently not. Actually, that might not.
Master Chief comes.
I got it.
Thank you.
Master Chief comes.
Perfect. But Master Chief collection probably does come to the Switch.
Okay. Firehair says, Jeff, to put batteries in the Rumble Pack, right?
I don't have a Rumble Pack laying around. I like Rumble Pack, but it's not something I feel like I need. So I don't have one right here.
Really, Mr. Nintendo 64 doesn't have an affinity for the Rumble Pack?
Yeah, you're right. That is a bit strange. You're right.
And I'll tell you what, when I felt activate, the moment I suddenly changed my mind, I was like, wait, maybe I do like the Nintendo 64 was when I put the Rumble Pack in. It felt so good.
I'm going to buy one right this second. All right. I don't have one. I'll buy one.
I had to go out to the store and get one. But yeah, so, I was playing Star Fox 64. I'm like, this thing's not rumbling. What am I doing wrong? I forgot that it takes batteries.
You know what I did? I bought something that I thought claimed to be both a memory card and a Rumble Pack, and you just had to switch to do it, and it came and it didn't. It was not a Rumble Pack. It was just a memory card.
The official Nintendo one.
Well, yeah. If I'm gonna get like a Rumble Pack, I'm gonna get the official Nintendo 64 one. Let's see here. Yep. All right. I'm gonna get this, and I'll see. But yes, I remember putting batteries in that thing.
Star Fox 64 with it. You'll know.
Yeah, I think this message probably was for you because you were the one who mentioned you were getting a Rumble Pack. So
no. So on the stream, I was complaining that it wasn't rumbling, and there was
okay,
batteries, and I was like, I didn't know it took batteries, and I think my chat's trying to frame it as I didn't know about the eject button and the GameCube thing.
Sure.
I don't think it's that ridiculous to think that maybe this thing was just powered by the controller.
Right. It's not exactly the same thing. Yeah, that's not crazy. But I do remember putting batteries in there. I kind of remember seeing the inside of that.
Once they said it all clicked. I was like, oh, right. Yep. Right. Double A's. Next up is Cycle 50, who says, have you considered having Joe Juba on Columbros?
I said that wrong, yes, I have, but also we almost exclusively record Columbros at now, which is 11:30 at night.
Not really a show for guests.
Also, I think it's he's trapped under Ben Hansen's bed or something. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he keeps him a prisoner. Absolutely. So I've considered it. We're probably not going to have too many guests on there. Maybe if we get to like near the end of the show, we'll do a special where we have a bunch of people who love Columbo on.
Speaking of people who love Columbo, Chris Pratt says another direct, no Mario Arcade. Maybe next week.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Plain Oak's fine.
Plain Milk's fine. Sorry, Chris Pratt.
Sorry, Chris.
You get him next time, bud.
All right, Jeff. We are caught up. We did it.
All right. Well, I think what we should do now is wrap the show up, get everyone out of here, let everyone get back to their lives while you and I record another podcast about Columbo.
I wanted to go to sleep.
No.
We should go to sleep.
Wait, listen. If we want to do it Tuesday, this did go a bit long. I guess Tuesday. No, we're doing it. We're doing it Wednesday, aren't we?
And there's good reasons to think Wednesday might go long too. I think we might need.
We're doing it tonight.
To do this tonight.
No going to sleep, Christian. Yep, that's right.
Happening.
All right, Mike Minotti, why don't you tell people where they can find you on the internet or whatever you were going to say?
Programming note again. Last Nintendo says, Wednesday night next week at 9 p.m. Eastern. Same time, different day, so we can talk about the direct. I'm Tokoto on Blue Sky and Twitch.
Jeff, I'm Grubb. What the fuck? Grubb.w2f on Blue Sky. Find me there. I'm Jeff Grubb on Twitch. I missed the last couple of weeks. It's for various reasons. For finishing Grim Fandango. I will finish it this weekend.
Grim Fandango, let's go.
Yes.
Text me.
Yeah.
Text me this week when you're getting online.
Okay. Sounds good. I will let you know. Yep. I will let you know. I'll get you. Probably get you out of bed. Because I want to do it in the morning.
Call me if I don't respond to text. Wake my ass up.
All right. Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. And then what else? Tomorrow on Giant Bomb, you should tune in for a fun day of content. I think, right now the plans on UPF is to play Schedule 1, that popular drug dealing game on Steam.
Hell yeah.
I love drug dealing games. It's like your favorite subgenre.
It's I do like because ever since I played Drug Wars, it was I love this idea of buying low and selling high. Like it's one of not that kind of high. That's why I liked Sid Meier's Pirates so much. It's the same thing of like finding sugar cheap in one port and taking it. It's just I'm a arbitrage seller at heart. So yeah, and it's got a lot of that going on. I enjoy it, but there's a lot more going on in that game. So we'll do that, or plans could change. We'll see if anything else is happening. And then, God, what else? Well, I think we'll have a BCR and some other things. We'll get it all figured out for you. Tune in for the Power Block tomorrow on Giant Bomb. In the meantime, for us though, thanks for listening to Game Best Decides. We'll catch you next time. Bye. Enjoy your gaming.
Plenty horny, thank you. It's not as fun as jacking off in a rainforest cafe.
Jesus, Dan.